So, hello. Hopefully people can hear me and they can hear you. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. My little mixer says noise is happening, so hopefully you lot on the old Twitch can hear me. Right, welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. We play lots of Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and Carbon and Cyberpunk and not a lot of Vampire, but we'll get Vampire going again. We may or may not have Vampire happening very, very soon, but I need to confirm with the storyteller. What do you call her?
Storyteller.
Yep. So yeah. Anyway, back to D&D. We're playing D&D. It is the 60th session of this campaign. 60. What is going on? All right.
Not a lot else. This one.
I'm trying out a little new overlay tonight because we got a guest star with us tonight, so they'll be revealing themselves shortly. So I threw some stuff about. You can see the tokens. They should be on a little slideshow for you folks to see, done by our lovely sponsor Coyote Grey. We'll get to in a second. So we'll see how this works out, and then I'll try and spice the overlays up a little bit so we can get more information to you while you're listening to the story. But we don't want to overwhelm your senses, even though I've thrown everything in the bottom left-hand corner. Moving on. You can find us on social media, Instagram, which I put a couple of things out there, and there's a video up there from GSCon that'll tell you all about the Dungeons and Dragons one-shot that I'll be running at GSCon in Manchester on August the first weekend of August. Yeah.
6th and 7th.
6th and 7th.
I've just bought my tickets.
It is also sponsored by our very own Emrys. Ooh! If you use, is it just Emrys, the word Emrys code?
Emrys 10.
Emrys 10, you get 10% off. So yeah, do that. There you go, it's in the chat. If you want to go and you want to see me shout really loudly in a hall.
.co.uk, Jade. Just been on it and literally bought my tickets.
You can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Facebook. Just look for Heavyweight Game and you'll probably find us. We've also got a YouTube channel where we've got the previous 59 sessions and lots of other stuff on there, like our Pathfinders and our one-shots and our charity streams and all sorts of stuff. So go check that out. Dying of not the corona. Is that all the social medias? We've got a Discord. If you want to click on the Discord, you can come and see us. God, I'm so good at this intro. Let's do sponsors. I put them in a nice little corner, so I'm just going to go through them from top left to bottom right, because the bottom right's not an official sponsor. See what I did there? First time chat. Here's Crazy. How do everyone? Here's Crazy. Here's Crazy. Right, Coyote Grey. I love him. He doesn't know how much I love him, but he's responsible for the little tokens you see in the slideshow. On Roll20 in the marketplace, if you search for Coyote Grey, he's got lots of chibi token packs. I fell in love with him straight away. He tricked me because I like chibis anyway. So when I seen him, absolutely stunning. I love him. He got the tokens. He's done personalised tokens for this lot, which are amazing. And I use all of his stuff. His cyberpunk tokens, his fantasy tokens for all my games. I just love him. So please check out Coyote Grey. He's also done the cover art that you would have seen, hopefully, in stream starting soon. And thank you at the end and all this. And I believe, can I put it up? Can I put it up? Oh no! He did this. See how professional I am? Just in the middle of the stream, just whipping out a thing. Look at that. How cool is that? He did that.
Professional.
So go check that out. Oh, what is that? What is that?
Streamers.
I've
moved me box.
I've moved your box.
You've moved me box.
Let's get rid of that. Boom. Boom. Control Z. There we go. I'll put your box back, Jade.
Thank you.
So, Loki Battle Mats. Amazing. Award winning. Every Kickstarter they do, instantly funded. If you want an A3, A1, A4, 5, 6 book of battle mats, you just flip out on your table and you've got instant dungeons and sewers and towns and taverns and wilderness, arcane circles, mountain ranges, caves. Go check them out. They're unbelievable. Great at what they do. Like I say, every time they throw a Kickstarter out, it's instantly funded. They do digital versions of everything they do that you can use on your Roll20s, Foundries, Fantasy Grounds, other virtual tabletops that you use. So go check them out. They're so good at what they do and pretty much got a map for any instance. And they've just had a very successful sci-fi one, so check that out. We're not sponsored by the rainbow flag, but it's nice. We like it. We love the rainbow. I'm the little bit on the left, I think. Am I the little bit on the left?
Bitch, we are the rainbow.
We are the rainbow, motherfuckers.
A little bit on the left.
Am I the little bit on the left? I'm the pink bit on the left. There you go. Is that pink? Anyway, there's a nice flag. I like the flag.
Oh my god.
Heavyweight Gaming, that's me. I sponsor myself. Ashana. If you go check out Ashana on Instagram, I've had a glass of Pepsi, right? Give me a break. If you go check out Oshana on Instagram or Twitch or Twitter, she's under the same name. You'll get to see her amazing glass crafting talent. Super good at it. I've known her a couple of years now, and I just love watching her streams. They're so zen, so chill. She's a super nerd, and she likes the outdoors and glass crafting. She's amazing. I love her. I can listen to her all day. Sunscape are not an official sponsor. However, they are aware that we use them, and they're very happy that we do so. And we're very happy that we know that they do so. Go check out Sunscape. They're unbelievable. If you want ambient music and sound and stuff for in your games through your tablet or phone or Bluetooth device, etc., they're amazing. If you're playing online like we do, your party can get the web player from the Sunscape site, and whoever's running the game can invite you into their game, and whatever music they play goes through your player's web player. So they can.
As long as they remember to open it.
As long as they remember to open it. I mean, you can still enjoy it. They don't have to if they don't want to. That's up to them. So that's the sponsors. We've also got a book out, a source book. It's amazing. It's called Tasha's Heavy, a Crockpot of Bits and Bobs. It's been out a little while now. It's
a year last week.
Last week. Holy smoke. The first major supplement by HWG, that's us, for DnD5e has arrived! ! Tasha's Heavy, a Crockpot of Bits and Bobs is 81 pages of subclasses, spells, artwork, everything TTRPG player wants! ! Find it here for $9.95 on the DMs Guild. I'm not reading out the URL, but it's got numbers on the end. Go check it out, it's unbelievable. Every one of them pages is equivalent to how many new spells are in there as well. 80 new spells, ridiculous, unbelievable, and there's loads of artwork in there. It was a cool little
collaboration.
There you go, what that lot said. Of people who can draw and paint and do wonderful things with colorations and really good at writing super cool mechanics for DnD5e. It's amazing. Go buy it. All right, make them rich. Bits, 200 of them. Rerolls. Throw 200. Do you look at roll 20? No, that's Chibby Tokens. Where's my bits? There you go. Do you feel sorry for the coconuts? Donate 200 bits /cheers to give them a party reroll. Monkey face.
Uli gave us a reroll last night.
Uli did give you a reroll last night, so you're already one up. I hate you all. They can't be used on the DM or death saving throws. They can only hold 5 at a time, and they do not roll over to the following week. And Kestra straight in there with 3 rerolls. You're already up to 4 rerolls, and I haven't even hit the recap yet. All right.
I mean, that's
Thank
nice.
you.
That's nice, and thank you. But it's also good to see how much faith you have in us.
They know.
Which is completely justified.
They know.
They know what this beach episode's going to be about.
I was going to say they're for Mel. Let's be honest. They're more.
So, what else we got? I've done the bits. I've done the rerolls. And what have I missed? Oh, there'll be when we've revealed the guest star, I'll do some little posty stuff in the chat room. But I want to keep it. Thingy for the next 10 minutes. So we on recap? Is that everything?
We're on recap.
Right.
Go for recap, Eddie.
Go for recap. What can possibly go wrong?
Oh.
As I go to Sunscape, and I use the day camp brackets music sound set for this nomadic camp in the desert. If it is too loud or too quiet, please let me know, because it's on the same mixer as the players. And I don't want to deafen you all. So, the copper forest fell over. You fell over.
Wow!
It was what? Right.
The subtlety of the brick to the face.
It was reflexive, right? I can't. My bad.
It was you fell over afterwards.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The forest fell over.
The copper forest fell. The players spent some time with the Jesuit, aka Toodles. Ruby did some extraordinary druidic miracle working and strongly infused the growth of the new copper forest that will grow in the material realm. You chilled for a moment. Toodles was able to hold a day for you with very little time passing in the real space-time continuum. You had some little chinwags. Some cool roleplay was had, I must say. If you want to know what it was, go check out session 58 and 59. You also went to Ve, as Toodles is able to use her druidic powers to send you through the trees to anywhere in the world. And you went to the Ve dynasty to hand over a potion that has allegedly got very, very powerful and potent curative magics within it. it was handed over to Cicerin, a friend of Sapphire's. You had a small conversation with your Sensei Rin, and then you returned back to Toodles. The next request of Toodles' abilities to send you through trees, not like Okarian, was to go to the lands of Sarut, a continent in the south made up of 7 desert nations. The borders of Portamia is where Xandria and Kesfion Summerbreeze's tribe are. Before they went and visited, home as it were, they went to the... Ha! Where are you, you bastard? They visited the oasis of the Raha Habun, which is the summer fair realm. Excuse me. Whilst there, you spoke to Malika of, or at least Andrea spoke to Malika of her warlock commitments. Ari spoke to Malika of his Xandria commitments. And a little bit of wandering around and just seeing the oasis of Rahahabun for first hand. It was also noted that Hakai and Iron Meadow, the Furbolg, who is the guardian of the summer realm, just having a laugh and a joke. And then you moved on. You left the summer realm to find the tribe of the Al Haris, which is home to Xandria and Kesfion. When you got there, Xandria decided, I know, whilst father is training the young geckos how to fight, I'll rush him with a great axe. Moments later, father and daughter embraced in a hug. No wounds necessary. Quickly, as the hours passed and walking around the tribe and just kind of giving a nod to people that recognise you and waves and smiles and things just getting ready for an evening, you went and found your mother, Zarin. Speaking with Zarin and just generally having that it's good to be home sort of vibe chat, Zarin asked to speak to Kesfion alone, where she handed him an amulet that was found with him when he first joined their family. An amulet with crashing waves coming together with a sea serpent in the middle. She told him that after looking into it, it is allegedly part of a royal fair court from ancient times, of the Unseelie Aqueous. And simply said to Kes she would do as much as she can to help, or if he simply threw it to the sands, she would be there whatever his decision. Now as we come into it, I'm going to turn up the music a little bit. There is music being played by those preparing, and something happened. I'm getting hosted by Clockwork. I'm sure I've met him.
I waited until you did feel.
Oh, by the way, thank you for the follow, Hazy Crazy. Yeah. So, things are getting prepared and made ready for an evening meal. I'm pretty sure you asked if you could stay for an evening meal last time. If not, I've assumed the mother and father have decided that you don't look like you've ate very well, so you get fed. It's hustle and bustle. Ruby, to be fair, you're probably loving it. It is very... Imagine the camp is a kitchen and everyone's rushing around, bumping into each other, and you have a bit of a nostalgic flashback to home, just the way people have got that friendly, argumentative tone with each other as everyone's in each other's ways. Everything gets prepared.
It's a lot warmer, but clan and tribe are synonyms.
Yes. Although I'm unsure of how many bards are in the Towan Highlands kitchens, but there are several folk who their entire job is just to entertain in a musical fashion whilst all this is going on.
Fantasy Spotify.
Yes. I'll Spotify, because, you're in the desert. Why not? So, as you just go about your business and watch this all preparing, there are a few of the tribe's folk that come up to Kesfion and Xandria and just hold very small, idle chat. You're looking well, it's good to see you back. How's the trip been? Which... Cass and Xandria have probably it's been alright. Just move on. They take one look at Xandria's dark, hollow eyes.
One streak in her hair.
Yeah.
Tell you what, those two people that came with us are unreasonably friendly. Go talk to them.
Yeah. There is a lot of not fascination with Sapphire, but the tabaxi in the desert lands are usually leaner and more shorter furred to handle the heat better, but they are aware of the catfolk of the Colossus. They don't see many Highlanders down here, and Ruby and Ari they fit the visiting, not natives, like those holidaying quite well. Like they've stripped down as well as they can. They're enjoying on some levels. I know Ruby, you said last week you were enjoying the heat, but you will have obviously dekitted somewhat to not pass out. Ari is... Go on.
Ruby's got one of those little reflective boards. She's just
tinfoiling it.
Tannin.
Catching rays.
Ari is currently auditioning for his third Diet Coke advert.
Sapphire's just dying.
Yeah, Sapphire's in a wheelbarrow at the bottom of the camp with a couple of geckos just fanning him with giant leaves. As the evening comes, the sun sets and the temperature immediately drops. Quite surprising, but at the same time really welcoming. Even for those of the tribe, they enjoy the evening and the temperature drop that the desert brings, because it means they can sit and kind of create the comfort and warmth of the community around the fire rather than be forced to be stood in the blazing heat. Meats are brought. It's all put out in like a buffet type style, and there's like raised bits of wood that are real short enough that you'd have to sit on the floor rather than at a table and chairs. And it kind of winds, does this table around. The tribe itself is maybe 100 people, and that's going from the younglings right up to the elders. Mixed with most people here look human, or at least similar to Xandria and Kess. Ari, your spider senses are and there's quite a lot of lizard folk, mainly of a shorter variety like geckos. And it's just putting together. There is a very large buffet going on, and there's several people playing soft music. People are just kind of no one like pulls chairs out for anyone. Everyone just starts sitting when they're ready. And it does seem that this meal is a bit more casual to Kess and Xandria. It's not. There's no elder speaks first or anything. There are those meals that do happen, but you can see this is just this is the equivalent to Ari going on a piss up sort of meal. And the casualness is very obvious. Ruby, a few of the geckos like come hang around you, and they're quite young, and they'll sort of not lead you, but they gesture because they want to sit near you, so they found a nice spot for you to sit. They come down, and even though they're like 3.5 foot high gecko humanoids, there's still a lot of actual geckos that kind of run over their shoulder and around the place. Ari, you are getting a lot of looks from a lot of people. Some you recognise as your time in the bar. You are very standoutish in this place. We'll see how many of them look away when they get eldritch blasted with a smite and a great axe to the face. But yeah, there is a bit of attention coming your way that is curiosity and interest, but that's as far as it seems to pan out. You're kind of... People look up to you, Sapphire, like the way they present themselves. They see this very large, lion of, white lion in the desert and stuff. And there's a lot of what's the word?
Snow blindness going on.
Yeah.
Light reflecting off of them, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, sunset, so it's a little bit alright now, just some flickering firelights. There's a lot of not very dramatic awe, but you could tell that those around you are like almost waiting for you to say something. Just like, wow.
Oh, they're going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, as soon as he speaks, I think this one's broken, Xandria. Kess and Xandria.
They don't want you to talk, they want you to roar. That's what they're waiting for.
Do the roar.
Give it Mufasa.
As long as it's not Simba, you're alright. Kess and Xandria, less of guests of honour, but there is a lot of back patting and passing you the drinks first, whether instead of towards friends and family on the other side, it comes to you first. Folks are casually honouring you, like in your back, like as they would with anyone that's been on a long trip away from the tribe and returned. It's nothing special, if that sounds, but at the same time it's very your tribe. Yeah. You have some time to chinwag before I perform another monologue. So you are all eating, you are drinking, music is playing. It is a desert night, a little bit darker. Sun's set just a little bit more than in Sapphire's background.
I was literally just changing it.
Just like, and in the dark. So you can actually see the sun setting in Sapphire's background. The stars take up the sky. It is, at the moment, a wonderful desert night and a meal with your tribe.
Oh, I recognise that photo. Anyway, so Xandria will kind of lean towards Kess and very quiet, well I say quietly, but quite low tone, just into his ear. So what did Mother want you for? Because you're still standing, so proud of you. But, what did you want?
Not grounded, but and he'll kind of reach into where he's kind of tucked away the amulet that she gave him and kind of pass it across to Xandria.
Okay.
So Xandria will take it, kind of like just flip it in her hands, and just look over it. It's an amulet?
That was on me when you found me.
I don't remember this being on you.
I mean, I don't remember much, but I can't see Mother lying about this.
No. To be fair, I was more intrigued by the boy that I'd found randomly. So, I guess it could have, slipped past me. But did she say anything else about it?
They did some research, I guess, on it, and it looks like it might be a family crest of some sort. But
oh.
It's not important. And he'll kind of like take it and like tuck it back away.
What, are you not going to investigate this family crest? Find out. You could find out where you came from, how you got here.
I mean, it wouldn't change anything, though.
Well, no, I know it wouldn't change anything, but to know your past is to know your future, is it not?
I don't know.
Well, I suppose it's always something we can investigate at a later date when you feel comfortable if you want.
Thank you.
Regardless, you are my brother. And you don't get rid of me that easily, so...
I would not dream of it for a second.
Good. Well, like I say, you're here. You didn't get grounded. I didn't get grounded. Thank goodness. And,
I don't know, does Mum know that you ran it, Dad, with your great axe in front of the younglings?
Probably. She probably knows. Let's be honest. Word travels fast around this camp.
But has she caught you alone since then?
Well, no. No, that is my saving grace. She has yet to corner me, and so I live just another day more.
You'll kind of continue eating,
Cool.
and just kind of enjoying being back in the, like, even though it's cooler, like the dry cool.
Yeah. The meal carries on. The music carries on. There is a moment while I pull up my monologue.
Good monologue, bad monologue. Flip a coin, guys.
It's in Yorkshire, so who knows?
Who knows?
As you sit and the smells of spiced meats all go around in your senses.
Or just food that's seasoned for like the first time in like
Go
how
back,
long?
No bland.
Like
food.
Ari's like, yummy.
Yeah,
Gosh,
see,
you're as
Ruby's
bland
not
as
a
you look.
pussy. Ruby is mainlining this into her
I
face.
mean, that was strong. That was a strong statement. Ruby's like, just, you're all weak. So,
No, not
as
all,
these
just Ari.
as these aromas reach your senses and you all look excitedly to eat, magically created wines are passed around. Xandria and Kess do not question the wine, they take part. The music flows all about you, and you can feel the infusion of magic within the song, similar to Ari when you do your magical barding. The song that is sung, the words are in the native languages and dialects of Sarut. Kesfion and Xandria, you understand bits of it. It's not quite spot on to yours, maybe from further afoot or one of the far eastern borders. But you get that it is quite a comical song. And even though to those that don't understand the language, it is a soft, bouncy song, maybe romantic, maybe there's a bit of emotion in there that, you know, somebody is... Romance just pops into your minds, Sapphire, Ruby and Ari.
Oh,
Kesfield.
Sapphire's trying to sing along. Like, when you
Kesfield.
hear a song, you have no idea what the words are.
Kesfion and Xandria, you can see that they're going with it, and you can see that, you know, they're invested. However, you know the song to be the tale of a magic carpet that has lost their corner tassels and is seeking them out across the desert. Usually a song sung for children. You then notice that there are a few of the younger ones who are kind of handing over silver coins to a couple of the bardic types in the tribe.
Oh no.
They're not real silver coins, it's just something that is it's like symbolic to a friendly favour. But you
Sorry,
can see
just a
now
second.
that they've...
To whom are they handing the silver coins
to the
for,
bards.
G?
To the bards.
Thank you.
They have clearly got them to sing a child song to see the reaction of the newcomers. And seeing Sapphire and Ari in the zone, just kind of moving with it, you can see the youngers laughing their little faces off. As the song...
Wheels on the
bus
bus
go around.
They're like, the wheels on the bus.
Yeah. And you just see Ari like, so beautiful, so beautiful. As the song finishes, all those gather, they start to laugh. Everyone seems to be laughing now. They raise their cups to one another, beaming smiles rushing out to all sides of this small feast. Then a outrider, similar to what you've done yourselves, comes quite hastily towards the meal. They've got their scarf up around their face. It kind of drops down, and you can see the features of and the tribal markings of the Al-Haris of your tribe. They've got a short curved horn bow. Jeez, that's a lot of words. On their backs with a quiver. The horse that they rode is on the outside now, getting tended to by some of the younger fair and the young echoes. And they rush over to Solomon, your father, and one of the elder types of the tribe. And it's not like elder like they're in charge. They just hold a little bit of respect for just living so long, especially Fae, who are very long-lived. But they inform the elders first, and then the information gets passed quickly on to the rest. The walker of the Al-Haris, Sahar Al-Faraz, is returning on their way here now. Maybe within the next 10-15 minutes, they've rode ahead to let people know, but the walker has been in battle. And they've raced ahead to make sure there are people ready to take the walker home and prepare for heals and such. And they're coming in with their companion, who you will get to see shortly. Coming in with their companion, who also have been battle weary. Quickly, the elders and those next to the elder, and then it rushes around quite quickly, people in and telling each other what to do. There's no panic, but they just kind of hurriedly go about it. Some of the folk that you recognise as skilled healers, Xandria and Kess, kind of make way over to one of the large canvas tents that are used for such things if people are wounded and such. As this is all getting ready, your mother and your father, again, being quite well respected within the tribe, basically for their martial prowess. It's kind of earned them that, not champions of the tribe, but they are very capable, and most folk would put money on them if it came to defending the tribe. They're putting around and organising some of the more fightery types, even though a lot of the tribe, as you know, are trained from birth to be able to be martial because of your role of protecting the Summer Realm. But those that do it more, they kind of get organised a little bit. Just to keep an eye out on the edge of the camps, just to make sure that Zahar and his companion are brought in safely if anything's chasing them. Not that anything was said that it was. These 10-15 minutes pass and you see breaching some of the shallower dunes not far from where the camp is. You see Zahar coming over the tip, the crest in one of the smaller dunes. His long brown hair there's no scarf or anything covering it up. It's just kind of, some of it's flowing in the gentle breeze, but the rest of it's kind of stuck bloody and matted down to one side. He's got a bit of a limp going on, not dragging his leg, but he's clearly wounded, like hip or thigh or something. His armour is still upon him. His bone spear is actually strapped to his back. He's not carrying it in any defensive position. And helping him down over the crest of the dunes is... You may put your camera on now.
Mystery guest, reveal yourself!
And I hope it works. Yeah, there we And...
Hi.
Hello, players.
How smooth was that? No one knew a thing.
No.
Boom.
No one will ever know.
Yeah.
And we have your old friend, Ozra, the Grave Cleric. Donned, as it was, in the fashion of the desert. If you would like to describe yourself, Ozra, because it's been a while since we've seen you.
It has been a while. So, coming over this hill, you recognise a figure with half-elven features, though the features are strange and uncanny in a way that's hard to put a finger on. She has chalk-white skin. Her eyes display incredibly pale blue-grey irises within black sclera, rimmed dark with what is probably charcoal. She has long wavy hair, starting at dark grey at the roots and fading down to pale grey, almost white. She has sharp pointed canines. She's wearing black clerical robes in lighter fabrics than when you last saw her, with flowing butterfly-like sleeves. She's wearing a tabard bearing the symbol of a wing-flanked bird skull on her belt, and a similar symbol hanging around her neck. She has dark metal pauldrons with black feathers on her shoulders, and there's a glimpse of chainmail under the robes. She has a mace splattered with dark blood and a shield on her back, and she's looking tired and as worn down as this other figure. There's blood staining her robes, and there's blood trailing down her face.
Yes, that was the description. Right, I'm going to do this. I'm doing stuff in the chat. Right,
Good
so it's going to
job.
come in bits. Follow that link, people. And there's more coming.
Let me actually tweet it
Yeah.
out from mine as well now. Surprise!
It's me.
It's
Well,
me.
see, some people don't have Twitter, so you know.
Do you want me to just paste exactly what you wrote me, Sasha?
If you want.
Well, it's
That'll
up
do.
to you. And do you want to tell people a little bit about what it is when I post it?
Yeah, let's give me a moment. I have so many tabs open.
See
Welcome
the link,
to
I'm
D&D
excited.
on a Tuesday.
So, if you follow that link, you can go check out Night Shift, is it?
Yes, the Night Shift podcast is is premiering today as of 40 minutes ago.
Go find
it's
Sasha
a-
there.
Yeah, it's a queer-led urban fantasy docudrama podcast, and we're very excited about it and hope everyone enjoys it. It can be found, we can be found on Twitter at Night Shift Cast and on all of your favorite podcasting sites.
Beautiful. There you go. Right, well, yeah, roll a dice, somebody. Right, so, Sahar.
Actually,
No, we'll get there, Ruby. We'll get there. I mean, go for it.
you never know with
Just
you.
roll a
You can't
d20,
be
Ruby.
trusted.
Just roll a d20.
Roll the dice. Alright then.
You see Sahar and Sahara is obviously known to Caspian and Zandria, not to the rest of you, but you all know Ozra, I believe.
Yeah.
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 I'm just trying to think when Ruby and I think Ruby and
Ruby
Ozra
and
came at the
Ozra
same time.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at that. 60 sessions, Ozra.
It's all
60.
coming together.
You might one day reach double figures in levels. And yeah, you see Sahara and Ozra coming. What's that coming over the hill? It's a terrifying Ozra and a Sahara.
Is it an Ozra?
Yeah.
Is it an Ozra? Yeah.
Within moments, the warriors of the tribe rush out and kind of honor guard them both back to the camp. Sahar nods at those that are like on close edge, and then he sees you and sees Andrea and Kesvion, and just kind of nods, smiles, but also is fully aware that he's been led over to the healing tent.
The second Ruby sees an injured person, she is like,
She's gone.
Yeah,
We've lost her.
like
turns
pops up an inch
into a
from their
hamster and
face.
disappears.
Pops
Okay.
up just an inch in front of their face. Starts
So as you,
winding up some healing magic.
Both Ozra doesn't look as battered. She's holding her battle wounds far better than Sahara's, but you can tell that both of them have had a bit of a scuff. So what are you doing, Ruby? Now you're in the faces. Ozra, there's a druid called
Cast
Ruby.
healing spirit. I grin and wink at Ozra and say, I've got better at this since the last time I saw you, and I will cast healing spirit at 2nd level. And
Oh.
I actually have a card for healing spirit now.
Ooh.
Instead of my little handwritten notes. So
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
upgrades courtesy of Mel.
Christmas present.
So 2nd level, right. So I'm level. What are we now? Level 9.
You are level 9, yes.
Oh, indeed,
Yeah.
never mind.
Rounded
All
up.
day.
That is 5
5 what?
healing. You know,
Charges.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I
you
think it's half your level. Rounded up, it's 5.
are you just going to pump all your charges into healing these two?
2 injured people, 5 charges. I'll go for 2 each and then see who still looks worse for wear.
Cool. So you roll that. As you do, you want to describe what Ozra sees? And Sahara.
So as Ruby makes a hand gesture, a spiritual green, like a spiritual non-corporeal greenish spirit hound. I don't know Ozra's background. Maybe she recognises a tow and border collie. Maybe to her it's just a dog with sort of like patchy markings. Appears at Ruby's side and at Ruby's second gesture, because she's not going to deafen anyone with whistles at close range. It starts nuzzling. You said the other guy was more wounded.
It does appear Ozra looks far more confident in her wounds,
So,
whereas Sahara's
first-
Ozra's helping Sahara.
First at Zahar, and I think. Sorry. Oh, you're letting me down, guys. It's been a while since I've needed to heal in spirit, yeah.
You've got a card.
Yeah. How many d6?
70.
Right, I can restore 1d6. I'm doing it twice, so Zahar will get.
Is it not more because you did it at level 2, Ruby, or?
No, because it's a level 2
Oh, because it is a
spell.
level 2 spell. Okay, my bad.
So that is not great. 5 hit points back
To Sahara.
to Zahar.
Is that your first charge?
That's the first 2
The
charges.
first 2 charges. Okay.
And
You
the
do see
second-
some of the wounds on his face just kind of heal up. He still seems a bit grunty and groany, but the smaller cuts do heal up.
And then at another gesture, the dog starts sniffing and like licking at your hands, just like a friendly dog who is meeting a new person. And you get 7
7. Thank
hit
you.
points back. And giving a once over.
Give me a medicine check.
Got a new bonus on this. Ish. That is 16.
16. Sahar definitely looks, from a medical perspective, worse off.
So the dog sort of returns its attention to Zahar, who gets a further 4 points back.
Okay. he kind of straightens up a bit more and is less reliant on Ozra's like helping hand, but he's still thank you, and he just kind of stands a little bit straighter. He's still getting ushered over to the healer's tent. You see quite a few of the tribe now nod and welcome Ozra back, like they've been pals for years. Like there's no surprise that Ozra's with Sahar. And yeah, you see Ozra, an old friend. 3, 2, 1, go.
Literally, the minute the healing starts, Sapphire's almost tackle hug.
Careful, careful, tender.
Sapphire.
Well, you
literally
fixed.
just watched.
I thought you'd fixed her. Sapphire lets go and just takes a step back.
I've never been tackled by an oasis before. What are you all doing here?
Family reunion, innit? Just sort of like, I don't know which one I'm pointing at, but I assume
Yes.
one of them
Just
is
pointing.
nearby.
You are the last people I expected to see out here.
What,
You
2
are the
summer
last person
breezes?
we'd expect to see out here, Ozra. How on earth did you get out here?
I've been here a month, maybe?
Oh,
What are you all doing here?
this is home.
This is home for you?
Hmm.
Oh,
Where,
To these
Yeah,
two.
when we-
I'm not suited
Yeah,
to
not the
desert.
rest.
Just again, a kind of she just gestures at like summer breeze. Like
We'll kind of like put a hand on Ozra's shoulder and cast Cure Wounds. Because I can. Haha!
Oh, we're getting competitive now. You
I don't know why I'm rolling at that, but you know.
you guys don't need me. What am I doing here?
Should have picked a different class, Ozra. Should have been a
No,
barbarian.
it's my 2 levels apart. Woo.
Do you want to have a heal off?
Oh no. Don't start a
It's
competition.
11 points back to you.
Are you using your bardic skills to do that? Yeah, obviously. I don't know many rogues
I'm
that can do
using
it.
Cure Wounds.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you whistle the healing magic into Ozra, one of the geckos and a young, looks teenage in years, young fae, holding a flute, just eyes you curiously, and the gecko's elbowing him. And
Yeah,
you
probably
do-
like
you
call
do
under
heal.
his breath. Like, I'd probably try and be more.
No, you whistled. Shut up.
Whistle, it's done
Yeah,
now. You're done.
Apparently,
You
yeah.
stood on the table.
Whistle.
I said,
whistle.
hear ye, lend me thy ears. Which I'm sure is how it goes. And Ozra, you will receive more healing.
Thank you. It's normally my job.
Well,
We're very good at it last time we met, yeah.
you left, and Ari can do a little bit, but if I hadn't learned any healing spells and hadn't learned them fast, it would be me and a pile of corpses. So now I heal
Not
people.
wrong.
It's good to see you all, but I'm still blown away that I'm seeing you here at all.
No, we decided to pop by for a quick visit. A sort of diversion from dealing with Ravenholm.
Yeah, we were in Vey like an hour ago.
How?
Fey magic.
Well, I suppose. So, what have you all been up to?
Dying.
Dying?
She
Dying.
actually did.
The charisma of this group is unreal.
Like, until y'all are like doing that, I'm gonna help Sahar like the rest of the way to the tent because
Yeah, we'll wait.
you seem to have this down. So guess it's like let the talky folk do the talky thing. I can lift shit. I'll do that. I'll do that. That's where my
Did you
talent's
just call
like.
Sahar shit?
Yeah.
No, but
Hmm.
like lifting stuff is.
Okay. So Kess heads off with Sahar, leaving you 5.
We'll call after Cass. Be careful with him.
I wasn't about to tackle an injured man into the ground, pointedly staring.
Sapphire
back
literally,
to back.
one of the first times ever Sapphire has gotten one of those, like, things. She's like, oh, ears droop a little bit, looks a little bit bashful.
Okay, where was it? Lyric. So we went to the wall to see Ari's family. Met a dragon, wall fell. Went to the realm of echoes.
Wait, you
Went to the city of ravens. Big posh meeting, very boring. hanging out with the Jezeri. They here.
When were you in the-
Xandria died at some point. Have I missed anything? Oh, Sapphire's a vampire now.
Hey!
Or... Alright, okay, I'm very sorry. Sapphire picked up an unmarked magical mirror, went through it, and drank what he was given by a vampire.
That's
Without
an accurate
questioning it.
description.
My expression and Sapphire's expression are the same right now. When you put it like that, it sounds really dumb.
It is really
I was
dumb.
very clear at the time, and so was Cass, that it was a very dumb thing to do. We've not been hiding from you that we think it's dumb.
Just wanted to show you all the mirror.
Look
Sad.
with our eyes.
Yo, I know now.
lessons learned, I suppose.
Thank you. Yeah, that. If we don't know them, we can't learn them. Sapphire looks like he said something clever, but he hasn't really.
The gecko next to you, Sapphire, just looks up at you and goes,
The gecko looks about 5.
months
Even the
old.
gecko children understand.
Forgive me, did you say that you were in the realm of echoes at one point?
Yes.
How long ago was that, and how long for?
It felt like a couple of days. I'm not actually sure how much time is. We've been back about 3 days.
I think a month passed or so while we were there, though.
But it was definitely felt like less because Xandria died in the realm of echoes and we were still able to perform a resurrection spell when we got back, so for us it must have only been a couple of days, but nobody tells me what date it is, so I've less than 100 years
Time
ago.
is a bizarre concept.
Today, tomorrow, yesterday. That's all you need to worry about, Rubes.
Yeah, that's all Ruby ever does worry about. So.
Very, very strange question. I don't suppose you saw Owlbearer while you were there, did you?
We did.
Oh yes, we
Yeah.
did. He went on from the realm of echoes to Vey, I think. He was all right. He was
helped us a
alive,
lot.
all his limbs. Good lad, helpful
He
as ever.
was
He
very
went on to
helpful.
Vey.
Okay, good to know.
Why?
They're friends.
He
Sapphire puts a hand on Ruby's head, just like even I got this one.
he was in the realm of echoes looking for something, but we haven't heard from him for a while now.
I don't know why he wouldn't have contacted you. Like I say, a very powerful wizard sent him to Vey. So he is back in this realm.
Okay, that's
Maybe he's just not.
maybe he's not able to get in contact.
Maybe he's not near anyone who can cast a spell for him.
That's good to know you've seen him.
So, what brought you here? It's an odd choice of adventuring location, considering we left you in Ravenholm.
The sun really doesn't agree with me. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Move.
It's so bright. It's so bright out here.
It's too warm.
Mm-hmm.
He
Far too
complains
hot.
about the rain, he complains about the sun.
Put me in the snow, and I'm happy.
Eleanor sent me out here. The leader of the Reapers. There's been undead darklings around the borders of Potemia. Is that right? Is that how I
However you say it, is how Ozra says it. Okay.
Potemia.
That was a little tribe member from like one of the week echoes just correcting it.
It's actually pronounced Bortomir.
Oh, okay, fine. That's where we've just come from. We were out scouting, and we were overrun. There were too many of them for us.
Adi, since the siblings are local to the desert, how frequent and how many are there usually
So
sort of.
the Darklings are what you fought in your session 0.
Yeah, you screamed one to death, remember?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the first time we
But
got
like
to
how?
see.
So we.
So give me a one of you give me a history check because Kess in there.
Oh yeah. Moving stuff.
1,000, 2,000,
Yes, history 0, intelligence 17.
Oh, love those.
17 of them.
Basically a luck roll.
They are, as far as the stories go, they're summer fae that were cast out. So you're used to seeing them out in the desert because, you know, it's just, they're quite bitter about that. Their ancestor, or so the stories go, is known as the Water Crow. Cast away by Malika, now they spend all their lives in the dark, hence the Darklings. They absorb light. If they absorb too much, they either explode or they rapidly age to the point, even for a fae, where they just become dust. As for seeing them out and about, you're used to seeing them in almost like a wolf pack sort of mentality. You see packs of them rushing around trying to rob people, like folk just travelling the deserts. A lot of the time you just leave those folk to defend themselves if they've got a spear or a sword. They're not a great threat. They're really annoying because they usually attack for a lot of them. And as you know yourself, even in your early days of being able to swing a weapon better than most, you could handle 2 or 3 in combat. And obviously Kess 8. But it's a weapon fighting. However, hearing Ozra speak about them in such an overwhelming presence doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Right, thank you.
Ruby's obviously never heard of them, but she just looks her up and down and goes, how many's too many?
Normally I can deal with undead things pretty easily, but this was too many for us. We need...
That's
10,
new.
20.
Sorry, Ozra.
100.
That's super
Yes.
news, Andrea. That is super new. There's no undead Darklings.
I'm sorry. Did you say undead Darklings?
Yes.
That's not normal.
Well, undead anything isn't normal.
No, but what I mean is Darklings, they're a usual thing, but they're not... They're dangerous, but they don't come in huge numbers that would overwhelm somebody. You can generally... Anyone with a spear or a sword can deal with 1 or 2 of them. To hear, 1, that you got overwhelmed by a large number of Darklings, and 2, the word undead Darklings, is concerning, because that is new. That doesn't exist. That's never existed before.
That's familiar to the fiends that were in Ravenholm. Suddenly becoming intelligent.
What's happening in Ravenholm?
Yeah.
A lot.
Fell and the Pale Man came through. An army of them.
The wall is falling and there are intelligent fiends flooding through. It's pretty rough.
That
Not
sounds
just-
awful.
Oh, they've set up camp just inside the wall and are demanding parley and bargains and debts.
So, do you think the 2 might be connected? If you
Strange
know
things.
anything, please.
2 strange things might be a coincidence.
The fact that they're stronger than they used to be, which is exactly what happened with the fiends. Like,
The fact that they're acting so differently, it's 3 strange things. It's not a coincidence.
I mean,
Could
they...
it be to do with the pillars that have been placed places? Is that what's causing it, do we think?
AD, when I did the wisdom thing and I out of body experienced, did I see as far as Saru?
No. It was localised to where you were focusing your spell.
Right.
So Raven.
Because I know I zoomed out at one
Yep.
point.
It was again localised to your spell.
But
You see no pillars in your month here, Ozra, sticking out the ground or otherwise.
Okay.
What do you mean, pillars?
Ruby literally spits on the ground and snarls in a very un-Ruby-like
Sapphire will get out
display of rage.
his notebook from his satchel because it's one of the few things he's ever taken notes on, and will show like the patterning on the pillars and the kind of spell work they saw in the circle around it, and just we saw this.
Do you have a picture of the pillars? Like, have you done a sketch of the pillar
Yeah.
itself? Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got
It was
like
an
literally
assisted
on a,
image as well.
Cool.
yeah, it was an assist. Yeah, and so it's literally a picture of the pillar on one side, and the other side is like the circle
mark,
around
yeah.
it and all the line work. And we're like, this. We found this embedded in the ground in the copper forest.
You
So-
know who cast them.
So Osra, before you left Ravenholm, you will have seen maybe 2 of these. They're very large. They protrude quite high above the tree line. These blood pillars. Asking around, like when you've been with the Reapers before, travelling before Owlbearer went and did his thing, you know them to be blood pillars, and all you know is that they were used in the war against the Copper Forest to harness the spirits of the Fae. And it matches a description Sapphire is showing you.
Oh, the blood pillars that were used in the fights.
I mean, I guess.
They're used to harness magical energy from the Fae.
That makes sense. Yeah, we've heard that there are more of them out there. So
Do we know how many?
Sapphire has a
Yeah.
glance around at the others.
Not yet, but we know the man who cast them.
Who was it?
A Lord of Ravenholm. Our next stop, I think.
Right.
Again, this is like a 180 from the cheerful little blonde human druid that's been like bopping around and healing people. This is just 5'4" solidified rage.
No, different folks of Ravenholm are not exactly happy with it either. Copper Forest is now in the material realm and a part of Ravenholm somewhat. But yeah, they're not happy about the blood pillars either because it's screwed up the natural balance of the world, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Has anyone tried destroying them? I have no idea what it would do. Maybe it would make things 10 times worse.
They were too strong for me to dispel the last time we were near one. But maybe somebody more. She sort of like glances at Ari and goes, maybe the right Stefan could. Maybe they're powerful, but they held a lot of power. And they couldn't just be like, ooh, dispel magic. Like most spells.
No, you need to bring out the big guns for something like those.
They were
Or
rooted.
get rid of the
That's
person
all.
who cast the spell.
They've done their job now anyway, so I don't think it would matter much if they were removed or not at this time. Maybe in the long run, but by that point, we'll hopefully have gotten rid of the person that cast the spell anyway.
Let's hope. Can we continue this with a walk? I want to see how Sahar is.
Yeah, of course. And Zandria will start leading everyone towards the healer tent.
As you were walking along, Zandria, you see it. I mean, the rest of you see it, but you spot it quite quickly. Every reaction to Osra as if she's one of the tribe. There's a complete acceptance of her presence. Obviously, while you lot were having a chinwag, Kess, you're walking with Sahar. And he's more than happy for you to help if you do. He won't push you away or, you know, or not. He won't push you away. Bloody hell, words. And he just he stops for a moment as you get maybe 10-15 feet away from what's going on behind you. He sighs and just keeps walking. How are things?
A hot mess. But it sounds like it might be similar here.
It is
Well, I hope
different.
not.
Very different.
What's going on? It's not like you to be overwhelmed by darklings, and I've fought alongside Ozra. They are not someone to be trifled with either.
She wields powers beyond what many of ours do. Maybe not with blade, but whoever she prays to aids her in battle. Far more potent, and he just pats to the bone spear on his back. I will heal later. Sit with me. You there. And he just points over to some young geckos that are kind of just wrestling each other for no apparent reason, because they're young and fancy it. Bring us food and drink. And he sits. Nobody else in the tribe orders people around. Sahar's the walker of the tribe. He kind of just naturally does it. Not with any like overbearing command. Just when he asks for something or says something, it's usually done. Two geckos run off over to the buffet and they start like scooping together some dried fruits and some meats and some this magically created wine and bring it over to you two, and some cushions and blankets are thrown down on the floor for you to sit. And he just sits there, kind of slumps down, like lowers himself. Definitely still wounded. The healing from the border collies obviously helped, but whatever battle Ozra and him took part in obviously left its mark. The Darklings, they are different from when we fought them, or for whenever I fought them before. They are lifeless. They still fear the light, but they do not take breath. Their souls do not diminish when we take their heads. Some of them,
Undead?
very much so. I have spoke with Ozra on these things. I have not seen an undead creature in the deserts for many generations. It is a different breed of monster that we must face. Undead is not usually of our concern. We found a nest. I'm calling it a nest because I have no other word to use. But they are undead.
When did this start?
Maybe a little before Ozra arrived. Maybe a passing of a moon before Ozra arrived. We sent word to some friends that we know outside of Surut, and Ozra was the help they sent to us, and help she has. But there are far more of them than myself and Ozra can take on in a single fight. Some of them are larger, much like humans that spend their days on farms. They are thick, heavy set, still of a darkling nature, but different. We've not had an attack on the trails for, well, since. It's like they've gone quiet and all accumulated in this one place.
In around a month, you say?
Ozra has been here a while, so maybe 2 moons ago.
2 months?
Total-ish. I'm guessing, Casfield.
No, I'm.
You seem distracted.
There was a lot of strange goings on in Ravenholm. I'm just hoping that there's
We are
no
aware
correlation.
of the fall.
It's what autumn does, as we're told. But there's a lot. There's a lot going wrong over there.
Should be
There's
left
fiends.
to fall. Those that broke the ivory, we are told.
They're demanding a nation of souls from the people of Ravenholm.
Maybe they should have thought of that before they took our nation of souls. Autumn should be left to fall, not forced to fall.
I could not agree more wholeheartedly, Sahar.
Who are your friends? Assuming they are friends.
They are friends. People that we picked up along the way who have aided all that they can. The human man, Aristotle Rycroft, a native of Ravenholm, his family was one that protected the Ivory Wall. He has taken a shine to Arzandria.
There is just raises his hand to stop you talking any further. That one, and points over to Harry. Xandria's not. Why is he alive? Does Andrea know? It's Andrea, not Andrea. Who's Andrea? Went shopping with her the other day. 2 pints of milk, Andrea, thank you.
Xandria is very aware. We will see.
She allows it.
I would dare to say she encourages him, but
There's like Sahar just. For some reason, Xandria, you just as you're talking to us, you just look outside and you can see Sahar staring at you with a beaming smile on his face. And then you go back to talking to us as well. Either, well, good luck to whatever that is.
they'll need it. The absolute mountain of a tabaxi is Sapphire Waters from Viconia by way of Vey.
I'll be honest, he doesn't look like a desert cat.
We'll keep an eye on him. It's only a matter of time before he takes a topple, I think. He's not really built for the heat.
Kind of looks at one of the geckos that brought food. Bring me one of the rings. Give it to the cat. Okay. And off the gecko runs.
And Ruby, all the way from the Tone Highlands.
The one that healed me.
Yes. She's
in touch with the land. It wasn't the same as
amazingly
others.
so.
No prayers.
She spent a day helping the Jesuit reconstruct parts of the Copper Forest. It was like nothing you've ever seen. It was amazing.
We've heard tale of an angel of copper, a story that's come from the autumn forests. It has reached the summer oasis, but is within our people to embellish stories. I see now as I watch her with your friends, she would match the description.
There's not been too much embellishment there, I can assure you.
Lovely dog.
It has saved my life many a time.
Why are you here? Just all of a sudden, like, just realising as everything comes together. Why are any of you here? Why are you all here? Like, are you back?
You weren't here when I left.
I'm pretty sure I sent you packing.
Yeah.
We were given a moment by the Jesuit. Sapphire was able to deliver some items that he had to Bay. Myself and Xandria had requested that we be given a moment to return to see faces we didn't think we ever would again. I don't think we'll be here for long, but the what you say the Darklings does trouble me.
Well, if you're willing to stay, I could definitely use your swords at my side, on my front, back, overhead. Do what you do, Kess. There's something different about Zandria.
She died. And
How was she returned?
a cleric of the woodcutter helped us resurrect her.
Just doing a dice roll.
Still feel sorry for that poor cleric.
And he's still in therapy and probably will be for
Because
as
you're all
long as
bastards.
Ravenholm
Right,
stands.
that's why.
Um,
You say a cleric of the woodcutter.
yeah.
Staring at you, waiting for that recognition of anything. Doesn't see it. Okay. Just sits
Kess
there.
will then proceed to like look behind him. Like,
As you look behind you, you can see Ozra, Zandria, Ruby, Ari, and Sapphire, maybe 10 feet from you both. Welcome. And you are all together now.
I see you've made yourself comfortable.
I'm in pain.
Oh yes, I can see it written across your face.
He does this. My bad.
Ozra will come and sit opposite him. How are you?
He's very, very caring towards Ozra. I'm well, thank you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have escaped. But just one moment. What is that on your back, Zandria?
I'm assuming he's referring to the Great Axe.
Well, he ain't referring to the glaive of summer, is he? Paladin! Unless Ari's got
Zandria
your back.
will pull it off her back, and she will just so she'll hold it sort of like up towards the blade and just offer the hilt
Okay, like the haft of
like
the
that.
axe.
Yeah.
He takes hold of it and then uses it a bit of a walking stick to stand up. And he'll hold it in two hands and he'll move it around. This is a weapon. And he holds it with one hand then and just moves it. Not through strength, just through sheer craftsmanship of the axe. And hands her it back.
Ruby's watching like proper mother hen, like just waiting for the moment where
Just-
she's like, right, put it down. not like.
Don't run with
but
scissors.
Just, like she's waiting for the moment where she goes like, put that down.
You'll have someone's eye out.
Yeah.
Sapphire too long.
Yeah. And passes you the axe back. And then sits back down. And
Where
off
did you get that from?
It was a crafted request from a gentleman in the city of Ravens.
Looks like it means business.
Well, I've yet to use it other than to strike at my own father, so we shall see.
Hang about, Luke. I didn't mean Luke, I meant Luke. I'm trying to make a Star Wars reference, then I realised one of the players is called Luke, and it didn't work, alright?
thanks for forgetting that I exist. That's also
Shit game,
that.
No, between the hours of 8 and 11, you're Caspian.
How would you like to christen it on some Darklings?
That sounds wonderful, actually. It's been a while since I've smacked a Darkling in the face or shouted it into non-existence.
Sapphire suddenly looks excited. Sorry, Darklings? What are Darklings?
Oh, horrible, nasty things. Although these ones, you said that you'd fought them before, Zandria.
They're frequent around these parts, so you don't live in the desert without smacking a Darkling in the face.
They are the opposite to light.
Oh, light I can bring.
Are they
We need some of
fiendish?
that.
And he just gestures towards her as she says they're undead.
Ah,
These ones are, at least.
close enough, at least. Okay. I'm happy to help. It's been a while since we had a scrap, and I don't think, it's going to ruin our time, considering what the Jesuit's doing for us. If it'll help your people, looks at Kess and Zandria.
There's no way you're getting me back through a tree without helping, though.
Agreed.
Sahar just sort of leans back onto a pillow and kind of rests on his elbows. I've missed you, summer breezes.
We've missed you too, Sahar.
Well, I'm not fighting anything without eating and drinking first.
Oh god, same, I'm starving.
Make tea.
I've no doubt. And Sahar gets up. Join us at the feast. Although I'm seeing bits of like juice and that on your mouths and stuff. I see you've already had some, have you?
Hope you've left us some.
Oh, there's always plenty.
Within the next few moments, you are all sat wherever you wish to sit around this train of buffet. The music continues to play. There are moments where it does get faster and then quieter. There are moments where the tribe will pause and listen to the song and really get into whatever it may be singing about.
Wheels on the bus
go round and Harry's like that. This desert wind gets me every time.
Love this one.
Yeah. Even Ozra's got the gist of it now and gone. You got me in that first 2 weeks I were here.
No, they did this to me in my first week as well.
Just can't trust fate.
What do you?
Just that
That's why I was like, did what? What's?
It's a child's song, Sapphire. They're a little harmless fun.
It's still good.
So
I don't
Very
care.
funny.
Ruby's vibing.
Ruby likes
Some of the best songs are for children.
That's very true.
Absolute banger.
Absolutely.
Absolute banger. Three geckos, head, shoulders, knees and toes. So,
Put that on at a convention and you'll get people
Well,
quite happy.
You're
like-
right. Yeah.
You're right.
So right.
Or a wedding.
note made for one shot at JSCon.
Yes.
You're all in a tavern and head, shoulders, knees and toes comes on.
Roll dexterity. Yeah.
So, as the evening does progress, more songs come about and they are more serious and have a more more adult theme to them. I'm just going to die over here.
There he goes.
It's not COVID, I tested. And it becomes a solemn desert evening. Food and drink has been pretty much gone. There are a few little bits and bobs that Sapphire's probably going to minesweep in a moment. And yeah, it settles down. The evening settles down. You see your mother and father sporadically through as they continue, and having Ozra and Sahar back and the word of the Darklings and the undead and a larger force. I mean, over the last month, Sahar and Ozra have gone out and, slayed many. And people are just kind of feel safe that them two are going backwards and forwards. Like, they don't get to see the Darklings because Ozra and Sahar take care of them. But the fact that they've come back injured, and speaking of such a force, the outrider that rode back to let folk know coming quickly, as Zandria said earlier, 100 people camp, it gets round them real quick. Riders and magical messages have been sent forth to alert the other tribes of what Ozra and Sahar found of this Darkling nest. And word back, magically, not to Ridery yet, has said that they're going to send help as best they can, and they'll all keep an eye out, etc. There's several tribes that obviously travel around Surut. They're all on it now. Everyone's looking out for these Darklings. No one has yet messaged back to say that they've seen undead Darkling. They've seen Darklings, but not these undead Darklings that Ozra and Sahar spoke about.
While they're sitting and there's the kind of mutterings going around of that, Kess will sort of ask Ozra for kind of a better sort of description of these different Darklings, and kind of specifically kind of almost making suggestions of things that they'd seen in, was it the Vibrant or the Vivid?
The Vibrant.
Vibrant and
The
the
Vibrant.
Pale.
Vibrant Fiends.
Yeah, I just kind of been like, there wasn't any of like this, or kind of there was no kind of this flavor to them, kind of like describing like the sort of complete darkness yet somehow vibrant, like oil spill kind of like colors through parts of them.
So give
Osra
me.
will give a detailed description, which I do not have.
So, the normal darklings, always wrapped as best they can be against the heat, against the sun, because sunlight is their arch nemesis. But they're very much halfling and gnome size, and very quick to stab, quick to get out, quick to get out. They're able to cast globes of darkness in combat. When they are exposed to light, they either explode immediately or are able to resist it a little bit longer and hide and run away. When it comes to the different ones, you describe the same sort of creatures but far smaller, like the size of a bat or a large bird, and they've got bat-like wings, but the body of themselves they're akin to the actual Darkling Fae itself, but they have like a beaked face, and as soon as sunlight touches them, they pop. While she's describing this to you, Kess, give me in fact, Kess, Ari, and Xandria, because the other two weren't there, give me history checks. The larger ones that Kess is asking you about is exactly that. Same, they wrap themselves, but they're as big as humans. And the way Kess describes the oil and the way they're going on is, imagine when the oil is filled with like rainbow colours when it's mixing in. That's the sort of skin that when the like wrappings came away or the hood came away, they did indeed have a oily type skin with the rainbow colours, and it got a little bit kaleidoscopic. There you go. Whew. That took some doing.
Words are hard.
Poor dog right there.
I'm done. End the stream there.
Game's over.
Yeah. And then you get that oily mix of rainbow colours through the oils. They still look like the Darklings that you've been facing, but they're bigger. And then every now and then, one or two of them would have horns that curl through their hoods. But they still look like the Darklings, apart from this oily, rainbowy coloured flesh. And they were able to resist the light far better than the rest, but still weren't happy with it.
Osra will bring her mace around and show Kesvion the oil slick blood over her mace.
I rolled a 19 on history, by the way.
I also rolled a 19 on
Cool.
history.
Guess.
17.
Cool. If you haven't worked it out
Well,
already...
I rolled an 18, but I got a 17.
Okay. As long as they want a 6 after that.
Yeah.
If you haven't worked it
5
out...
to history.
If you three,
Rick knows the questions to ask. Kess, just...
if you three haven't worked it out already, in the first couple of sessions, the bird-like creatures that attacked you during the night and needed the daylight from the druids to get rid of, that's what it sounds like Osra's describing when she goes on about the bird-like creatures.
Yeah.
AD.
Jade.
Upon Xandria seeing the oil slick on her mace,
Yep.
does that look like the weird sort of shit that Xandria kept coughing up?
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh crap.
Fuck. I don't know why I'm checking, because I don't think I have anything plus to Arcana, but it's worth it.
You
I hadn't
never
even thought
know.
of that. I hadn't even thought of that. That's worrying.
Total of...
20.
Just total of 20, yeah?
Not 20.
Just, yeah,
Total
just
of 20.
Yeah, I don't have
Give me a
pluses.
sec.
I don't have pluses to intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
Does
Yeah.
anyone in this party?
I don't think any of us do.
None of you are
Oh,
intelligent.
Somehow.
Oh, Ari.
Ari's the brains of this operation. How
Somehow.
scary is that?
Only on
Oh,
paper.
Awesome, though. So
I
you
might. I've got plus 3 over here.
Oh, yeah, no,
Whoa.
you are decidedly.
So, on your 20, yes, it was not, but it was a 20 score.
Yeah.
Yes, it reminds you of exactly what you've just asked. Without the colour. Yours is without the colour.
Yeah.
Could it be that? You are unsure, but it definitely reminds you of it.
Okay.
More strongly than not. But it doesn't have the colour on yourself.
Yeah. Grand. Thank you.
Do you say this out loud, or do you just think it?
I just think it.
Okay.
Give me an
I
insight.
say nothing of my
Osra, give me an
ailments.
insight check. Give me an insight, Osra.
Oh, I'm usually good at those.
No.
16.
when you show it to people, most of them go and just kind of have a little look. Sandria pauses just ever slight longer than the rest of them. Just focuses it on a bit more. No major. Just pauses a little bit while she stares at it, and then just carries on listening to you and Kess talk about what they look like.
Sounds like what you're describing.
Sadly, yes. We've fought fiends like that on the wall. They were the vibrant and the pale.
The pale.
Give me a religion check, Ozra. All the skill checks from the cleric today.
Ooh, 26.
Shit.
Oh, this is what it's like having someone with two brain
Wow.
cells to rub together. Can
Yeah.
you imagine?
I'm just going to send
I'm a
you an
cleric, I'd
email.
be so embarrassed if I got a bad roll for religion.
Yeah. I'm going to send you an email, it'll be easier.
4.
So, just hearing them apart, like if someone just mentioned the words vibrant and pale, don't really mean anything. But in the context that Castrion is providing it, the fiends, the colourings, the oils and stuff like this, it's all just kind of, as each word is said, it just kind of pieces itself together. The Order of the Pale are a paladin order of demons.
Oh.
Yeah?
Awful.
They are
Wow.
super long. I generally don't do exact alignments, but they are as lawful evil as you could possibly get. The Vibrant are as chaotic evil as you can possibly get. And they are the... In religious terms, they are the locusts that you release upon one's crops. They are the the herald of the pale arriving, and they are that chaotically coloured. That's where they get their their name from. They are vibrant. They turn up. You see them coming towards you. You see every colour of Colossus coming at you in teeth, claw, sword. Magic, and it is not organised. It is an absolute decimation of whatever they've been unleashed upon. The Pale, as I say, they are the paladin. They are a demonic paladin order, and they are debt collectors for some demon you can't quite remember. But right, in fact, what did you get? A 26.
26.
Holy shit! I'm bringing out the big guns. Give me a sec. I didn't think this had come
He's
about.
just gonna link you to the Google Drive for
Yeah.
all of Colossus because you know it all now. Actually, you now are the DM.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see through dimensions.
I am Colossus now.
Yeah. The Titan.
They are a demonic paladin order who follow Nex Arathi.
That sounds deadly.
What did you get? A 26. Fuck it. No.
I love it, Giselle.
I'm like,
None of
let's
us are gonna
just.
roll that high. Let's face it. Like, none of us are gonna roll that high.
No, I don't think if we all rolled and added it up,
It
we could get that high.
No.
My history is +5. Like, I think that's as high as all my
So,
one of my intelligence skill checks.
demons not being your thing is the only reason I'm going to leave some out.
That's fine. Let's leave some of it to the imagination.
So, in the Order of Demons, you're unaware of the names, and if they were mentioned, you might recognise them, you might not. However, the way most powerful entities exist, whether it be deities, demons, or elementals, there is a creator titan which created a group of things on Colossus. Everybody knows across like the world, the nighttime stories, that the creator of the first demons, devils, fiends, whatever people call them in their different cultures, as Abyssal. Abyssal then had quartz children. They were sometimes known as the Neverborn because it's just not a parent thing in the demon land. 4 demons were created, and those 4 demons also had Neverborn. One of those Neverborn is Nex Arathi. Many of the titles they are known by is demonic. I'll say the first bit and then add the rest. Demonic Lady, Demonic Lord, Demonic Queen, Prince, demonic Khan. They've got a lot of demonic insert title here. Of cruelty and hatred. That is their thing. That is what they represent. You're religious. You know there are many deities that would also represent such stuff. And they are one of the Neverborn of Kargrethel, who represents combat and ferocity. Sorry.
Hello, I am Demon Lord Bastard, or son of Lord Bigger Bastard, and I am here to end all of your suffering.
Pretty much.
For us.
Well, it's not my fault she rolled a 26, alright? Could have just been,
She just found out for the players how bad it was, the thing that you had created with your brain. Wish.
I will relay all of this to everyone.
Ruby takes a sip of whatever it is she's drinking and says, "Told the silly bastards they should be looking for the demon that's signed the deal." And just goes back to eating a little bit too smugly.
This
So-
is bigger than just some stupid thing that someone did in Ravenholm millennia ago.
Sahar's
Maybe.
staring at Ozra in complete, I don't know what she just said. Just over his head.
Essentially, if these undead darklings that we've been fighting, if this is anything to do with what's come before, they're harbingers for something a whole lot worse.
We've encountered the Pale. They are organised. They've taken over the wall. They're super organised. And the Vibrant were there first, and my grandfather was studying it. And if the Vibrant are here now, that is potentially saying that the Pale are going to try and make a move on here.
We need to do something.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Sahar. Yeah, you do.
I'm sorry. Are you not coming?
I'll fight the Darklings. The rest, I need to look after the tribe first. If these demons you speak of come to the tribe, I'll fight. I cannot travel further.
Understandable.
Plus, sounds like you will need allies at least 2 places.
At least.
You say Autumn is now in the material realm, that the Jezerit walks in the material realm.
She does.
They are now very vulnerable. Still in the cabin.
Yes.
That will only protect... What do they call her now? Toodles? That will only
Yes.
protect the Jezerit for so long. The magic is a trick rather than a omnipotent power. It's what we do. We trick. If these demons walk through Ravenholm, I fear for the lack of Autumn to be able to defend itself. And we will do our best to protect Summer.
Well, you better, because I can't stay here, apparently.
Looks at you confused.
What do you mean you can't stay here?
It seems that Malika has made it quite clear that my duty to the Copper Forest has not yet been completed. And now this makes sense. I will have to return to the Copper Forest and help them defend.
And you're planning to go alone?
Oh, goodness, no, I'm taking Kess with me at least.
Kess like looks up from like.
You think the rest of us are going to stay here?
Well, no, you also cannot stay here.
No.
You two will be coming at least back. And you know,
As Ari and Xandria are conversing, Sahar just kind of elbows Kess with a bit of a.
Kess just kind of goes.
And then he just sits back.
And
just,
kind of a look what I've been
Yeah.
dealing with kind of face. Like a.
He'll nudge Ozra. This is new, and just point to Ari and Xandria.
do I hear him say that?
Yeah, he says it out loud.
Oh, just look at him and like,
The heart does not
Excuse
fear
me?
you.
Yeah. No, it's just I'm just observing things I've
observing.
never seen before.
No, please carry on. Carry on.
Yeah, Ruby's looking at Zahar behind Xandria's going.
Yeah. Sapphire's looking up at the sky, picking his nose.
Oh, did the gecko that was bringing something to Sapphire ever
Oh, yeah, the
return, or
ring.
did it fall down a hole somewhere?
Oh.
He got distracted by dinner.
Yeah.
I posted it in the chat because I was
He's
like,
like,
"Delete
Yeah,
this."
let's go!
Very short attention spans.
That's it. Sahar's like, what are you on about, cat? And then there's a little tug on his shirt. Oh, look, a gecko with a magic ring. Give it to the cat.
It's been there for like
Been there
half
for
hour.
10 minutes.
The
just tugging
gecko
on his
gives you a magic ring. You won't need to focus your attentions on it, but while you wear it, whatever climate you are in will be comfortable for you. Hot, cold, wet. It doesn't mean you can breathe underwater. It just means...
like he's like automatically, wait.
Wait, I may have heard the stories.
No.
It'll just
Believe me,
it'll make you
even feeling
comfortable
comfortable,
while you
I will
drown.
be avoiding water still. That's really thank you. That means I can fight comfortably tomorrow and not have to worry about this.
I've seen warriors with your hairstyle, and
Hairstyle.
they can sometimes exhaust pretty fast when it comes to combat in the desert.
That is very appreciated. When we've finished dealing with these darkling creatures, I'll be sure to hand it back.
Yes, you will.
I told you.
Sapphire like stops. He just kind of grins. He's like, "Ah."
You notice the gecko
I like
stood
him.
behind Sahar as he go, yes, you will. Just look at you and go.
Savage.
It's gonna get you.
Sapphire's like, "Oh, I love this.
6
This is all good."
kilograms removed.
So, before we move on and enjoy the evening and whatever you wish to do for the remainder of the evening and into your long rests, we're going to call a quick break because that's busting and I want a drink. So, stick around, kids. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, 15 if the fridge gets too far away from me. But stick around and we will see what this lot crack on in the second part of the episode. Right, so during the break, you're going to see a video that was put together by Gamer Studio for GSCon, and it's basically advertising the Dungeons and Dragons one-shot that they're going to be hosting with yours truly as the Dungeon Master. I think there's about 10 spots that you can register for, so if you fancy going to the con in Manchester 6th and 7th,
7th of
there we go.
August.
We'll put some links in the chat. It's on our Twitters and stuff
Will
like
we?
this. Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody will put some links in the chat.
We'll find
so
it.
watch the video if you fancy it. It's written in Yorkshire, so don't think there's any like smooth bard doing this. But yeah, have a look at it. Right, we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
wreck shop.
Kill Darklings. Hello, welcome back to second part. Right, welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. We're playing DnD5e. This is our campaign, Fables Among Titans, which I've just realised, because I did a different overlay tonight. I don't have that written anywhere on the thing, so we'll change that next time. Just before the break, we had our wonderful guest, Ozra. Not Ozra the guest, anyway. Arriving at camp.
It's a good name, I'll keep it.
Yeah. Arriving at camp with Sahar to meet the players and explain to them that the scouting mission that they just partook in discovered some undead darklings, fake creatures that are essentially allergic to light. They've also discovered there may be some demons afoot or involved. They've had lovely food. They've had childish songs sung to them. Sapphire now has a ring where he can bare chest in the desert sun and feel proud and not die of heat exhaustion. It is the evening after the meal. It is late. It is considerably colder than it was. Hi, Mr. DM and players. Hi, Hazy Craze. Hazy Craze? I'm just going. It's late at night. If you wish, you may still converse, speak to other members of the tribe. That goes for Ozra, Andrea, and Kest. For folk that you will know, if you wish to speak to them, you can just go to them. Ruby, Ari, Sapphire, if you are wanting to be all pokey and proddy with the people of the tribe. I don't know, Ari, you might want to speak to Solomon.
Ari's like,
Get away from them, Faye.
Wait until Sars had a beer and he's like, hey, Solomon, have you heard of what your youngun's up to? Those well-known Yorkshire desert folk. So, you have the evening for yourselves. If you so wish, you can just find somewhere to rest your head, and the night will be yours to sleep through. What do you all wish to do? Sapphire, I'll start with you first. Do you wish to do anything or lay your head?
Naturally, you would come to me first. I think just lay his head at this point. Sapphire is very aware of how talking to Faye can be really fucked up, and yeah, Sapphire is just going to go, if he fits, he sits, and is going to curl up for the night.
Okay. Kesfion.
Kess will probably do like the rounds of people that he hasn't really had a chance to like have a catch up with, because I'm presuming like for the Sims, like this will have a bit of like, this is extended family,
Yeah.
so like basically anyone more than like a couple of years older than them is your aunt that's not your aunt, and your uncle that's not, so like
Do a family
just-
gathering.
If you
thing
don't
and
Yeah.
say
around
hello
the
to
whole
Auntie,
family
it will start a
gathering.
feud.
yes.
yeah, basically, and he is very aware that is kind of the energy. Is like, yeah, well, you know what? Let's only be fighting the Darklings, guys. So
As
he's
you
going off.
Everybody
and
get in a
making
line,
nice.
and I'll come down the line.
as you're wandering through, give me a persuasion check.
Ooh.
I'm actually quite good at those. We forget that Kess actually had a charisma in there and somewhere.
You are fair.
Yeah. Persuasion. That is a 21.
As you are walking through and doing your, how'd you do, long time no see, and just doing that casual catch up, you can see that a few of the more gifted in the arcane are manipulating the small fires that are now more for light rather than heat. People are wrapped or using various magical means to keep themselves comfortable. But these few, maybe three of them that you see on a cantrip level, are manipulating the flames and causing them to take shape, humanoid shape, and dance. And very much a dance of these lands, which is a bit more circular and sort of moves around the place and then will stop and then go faster again. Not like anything that they did in Ravenholm, where it's very... But yes. While you're trim-wagging with folk, and, you know, it inevitably comes up about the Darklings and such, there's an unnatural fear just through the those that don't have as much reputation within the tribe of like being able to slay demons with a single blow. There is an unnatural fear, nothing you've ever seen before in the Al-Haris. They are one of the most notable tribes when it comes to being all the nomadic tribes that you and your sister are aware of that protect the summer realm by staying in the material realm and being that first line of defence. You are smaller tribes because you are skirmishers, you hit and run. You don't fear it like your summer, like you see it everywhere, the summer fear. They're bright blazing oranges and reds in their loose clothing, their desert clothing, as they wear scarves that flow when they fight, very much like dervishes, which is probably pronounced way better. However, fear is not something you've ever noticed in the tribe, and you get that feeling of, not like hide behind a rock fear, but there is an uneasy fear in the tribe of the Al-Haris at the moment, especially of those that don't hold names like the Walker or Elders or Summer Breeze. Aristotle, what are you doing with your evening? Did you just eyebrow raise me?
Me?
Yep.
No, Aristotle.
I was like, I didn't even feel one move.
I think it
Did
was
that all on their own.
it was a oh, if I get full name, ooh, I'm in trouble. Sorry, that was a Mel reaction one, not a character reaction.
Ari, the gazer. What are you doing, Ari, if anything?
He is probably still got Malika in mind from earlier, and is very much trying to keep to himself and keep to their little party around the campfire and talk to Sapphire and talk to Ruby and talk to Ozra and talk to the people that he knows, but he's probably trying to avoid
Is there
as much
anything
attention as
specific
possible.
you're talking to those people about, or is it just casual?
Just casual.
Right,
Like
cool.
he is.
Give me a
he is
perception check.
very cowed from earlier, I feel. What dice shall I roll that one? Oh no, nothing. That's a natural one.
Cool.
Oh no.
Moving on. Ruby.
Well, we've got all those rerolls.
Oh, yeah, we've
I'm
got
just
all the
Oh, you've got like
rerolls.
4 rerolls there.
Yeah,
What,
use
do you
it.
want to use
Yeah.
one
Go
of?
on then.
Thank you, Kestra, if you're still about.
That's a 2, guys. That's a point,
Reroll.
wasn't
You've
it?
still got 3
Reroll.
rerolls.
Love it. Love that. Great
I don't
stuff.
even.
Let's hope there's not a fire end of this session. Are you using more rerolls?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Do another one.
Are you doing another?
one.
Do another one.
Do another
can
one
have
using
one
a different
more.
dice. One more.
Oh.
If
As a
it's a
treat.
3, I swear to God.
That's better. Okay, considering
5.
quite high
Yeah,
percep-
yeah.
That's an unnatural 20. 'cause I've
Ooh.
got perceptive perception.
You see 2 dice roll past you. One's a nat 1, one's a nat 2. So, as you look, as you just,
tumbleweeds.
yeah, as you are just in casual conversation, you see out of your periphery a very striking figure in blues and gold, sashes and cloves and scarves, with their short hair at the sides, and it kind of raises up. You see Zerin Summerbreeze, the mother of
I was
Zandria
about to say,
and
you
Kesville.
think you're getting out of this book?
If you won't do it, I will.
It's coming for you, run!
Oh no, she's gonna get me!
She leaves the perimeter of the camp and is maybe 50 feet from the camp, and she sits cross-legged on the dunes and she's looking up at the stars. No one else seems to react or notice, not even the guards or anything like that. You just catch it out of your periphery, eventually, with your rerolls. I mean, you staring hard and just like, is someone over there? Yeah. Do you react? You don't have to, I'm just telling you what you see.
No, because he'll bear in mind what Zandria said earlier about the mother.
The mother.
He is very, very feeling very human right now, I feel.
That's Ruby.
Ruby is content really to follow the lead of what's going on around her. So while they're eating, it's like if someone across from her starts chatting, she'll talk straight like that. If the little geckos are still like, "Come on, play with us, new Auntie Ruby," she's well in
Not
that.
at this time of night.
If everyone else is like going to bed, she'll head off.
There is a very like mead hall moment where there's levels of constitution, and those with lesser are leaving the area of the. And you kind of, again, that nostalgic feeling. Again, like you said before, same and different in so many ways. The young ones are all gone, despite fighting with parents or guardians or whoever is caring for these young ones, wanting to stay up longer. Again, flashbacks. But they eventually go off. There are a few of the older geckos that are hanging around, and the fae, and they're just getting on with. Some of them start to clean up because they don't want anything there for them on. They're very efficient.
Oh, Ruby will have to help clean up. Because tribe, clan, if you don't at least offer, there's a thick ear in it for you somewhere for being rude.
As soon as you offer, they take full advantage and just load you up.
Yeah.
They are loading you up. They pull the blankets, yet give plates and great dishes to yourself. Give me
point her in a direction and
give me a nature check.
Nat 20.
Hey.
For a total of.
Plus. Hold on, no, that's no, too many tabs. For a total of 25.
Jesus.
Let's go, Druid.
Druid.
Oh no, druids are good at nature and clerics are good at religion. So, all the dishes you hold, whether they be bowls or plates, whether cutlery or cups, everything's made of glass.
Makes sense. Everything around is made of sand, so.
There doesn't appear to be anywhere that they could take advantage of that. However, everything's made of glass. You overhear two of the geckos that are kind of at the front and rolling some of the mats up, these large rugs. Give me a perception check to see if you actually overhear what they're saying.
That's not quite as exciting. Perception plus, oh, that's a 10.
10.
Use a reroll. Everybody gets a reroll.
I mean, really, for a total of 10, was that?
Yeah, I mean,
It's up
Mel's
to you.
just 2 of them.
Alright, okay.
I can't tell you what you hear until you tell me what you're actually sticking to.
Right, okay, I did the reroll. That is an 18 plus, there's 22.
Alright, you hear.
I hear Ari worrying.
You hear the couple of
And Kes
geckos.
greeting Uncle.
You hear the couple of geckos talking of Zerin Summerbreeze, the Dreamwalker, who has recently been plagued with nightmares, which scares those two geckos like nothing you've ever known. It seems that a Dreamwalker, and the way they talk about it, is a very high prestige thing. But they speak of Zerin's nightmares and fears. Okay?
Yeah.
And then
Ruby will not admit to them to eavesdropping, and at the moment is sort of like from waist to forehead with a stack of plates. So if she interacts with anyone, it's going to be like, which way do the plates go? Like.
You fall in, and together with the folk that are cleaning up as well, you clear away what the drink and the food, etc., etc. And it looks now just like a camp in the desert, getting ready for sleepy time.
And then when I have been excused from my part in the cleanup, I will start looking around for Zari. I'm not like walking up to people going, "Where is she?
Where is she?" All right, Batman, calm down.
Just sort of like looking around. Is she sat by that bonfire over there?
Give
Is
me
she
a
chatting to
perception
Cass?
check with disadvantage.
Okay, so that without chucking die across the room. But the disadvantage is, you said perception.
Yep.
Here's 12, 16.
16. You see her through like the crevice of where the tent flaps have been tied together, but not tied tightly. They're just kind of loosely, so they're less of just a bit of covering. And you can see what you believe to be Zerin asleep next to Solomon in their tent, or their family tent.
Seems wildly intrusive to go and try and like, so I hear you've been having nightmares. If she'd been still up, I'd have been like, so I've got tea that'll make you sleep without dreams, but she's already asleep. next to her husband, I'm like,
That's what you see.
I'm just gonna like nearby. If I hear screaming in the night, then I'll check in. But I'm not gonna wake up a sleeping married couple out of nosiness. So I will
Okay.
find a clear patch of sand nearby to do the usual burrito up in the cloaks and.
Cool. Ozra, are you getting your head down? Have you got things to do, not do, etc.? What would you like?
She will relay the day's findings to those of import within the camp. And just while everyone's sitting and talking over dinner, we'll undo her holy symbol from around her neck and hold it in her hand, and cast Prayer of Healing. So she starts talking under her breath in a sort of extension of Common. I don't think anyone can speak under Common, so probably won't know what's being said. And we'll give Safar maths. 10 points of healing.
You give him an abacus. 10
The
points of
gift
healing.
of counting. Yeah. I wish someone would give me that.
As the magic pours from you. Oh, actually, Kess and Zandria, you hear the cry of a vulture, of a desert vulture. Sahar kind of nods his head in thanks, puts his hand on Ozra's shoulder and says, "Thank you, young one," and gets up. I take my leave. Enjoy the evening, but I must rest fully.
Sleep well.
And to you. And he potters off to his tent. Anything else? Are you happy to? Cool. Zandria.
Happy to go
Okay.
to sleep.
Zandria.
So throughout the evening, Andrea will eat and she will drink quite, not exaggerately, but more than she probably would have done when Ravenholm, because obviously it's that home comfort, especially
Yeah.
with the magically created wine. And she is also obviously going around and doing the chats to people and checking
Yep.
up how people are, etc., etc. And you know, if anyone just kind of mentions how things have gone in the Copper Forest and in Ravenholm, the standard response is, "It is shit. I do not recommend going there."
I mean, not wrong.
Not wrong. Nobody likes Ravenholm.
Okay.
It is the worst.
And then you get your head down? Oh,
Yeah, pretty late though.
okay. Give me a
Like,
perception check.
Perception. Perception is one of my expertise. Because it's wisdom. Oh boy. Oh shit. Fingers. 24.
Shit,
That was
fingers.
that was a journey.
Fingers.
Hey, wait, no, please, nobody clip that.
I was an 18 plus 6,
I
it's
think-
24, but I
oh,
had to get my fingers out the count.
Oh, right, I see. That got weird. Right, I don't know what math Jade just did. However, Zandria looks out, just one last look before, you know, letting the hours pass. Stars in the sky, it's clear as, and you see in the blue and gold desert garb, your mother sat on the dunes. Before you react, because you rolled super high, you just say to yourself, she's walking again, as in dream walking.
Yeah. Cool.
And then do you all attempt to go to sleep?
Yep.
Cool! Kesvion.
Yeah.
Going everybody else.
It's cool. It's cool. I whenever ADA asks you to roll something and then just never mentions it again and then goes around to everyone else, you're just like,
Love that for me.
Right, Kes, you may need to bring up your background for this battle.
Oh,
yikes.
We're going way back.
There's a
Back
very
into the before
specific
time.
sentence that is relevant.
Oh jeez. One sec. Hud the phone. Right.
Cool.
We're cooking with gas.
Everyone's asleep.
Right.
You do your normal check of, you know, I am soldier, I'll make sure everyone's out before I finally lay my head. You get your head down. You notice that Xandria's probably going to stay up a bit later than normal. You're happy
That's
with
fine.
that.
She
You're
only
in the
needs
tribe.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Cheeky bit.
Fuck. I hate that one. And you sleep. It's been a bit of a day. It's been a bit of a couple of months, to be fair. But it feels nice, and you can hear the people just chinwagging around you that are still staying up late, and it's comfortable. It's been a long time since it was actually comfortable. Then you think about the moment you had with your mother, and it's kind of the last thought you have as you just totally drift off. And you dream you're in the tent again, and your mother passes you the amulet. And as she passes you the amulet, you feel anxious. You know you're within a dream. Let me just turn the music up. Oh, this is spooky. At least for me.
Yeah, I'm not getting the music for some reason.
I am.
I've got it right up at full, but for some reason it's
It's
just
not coming through.
it's not coming through for me.
Can
Give me a sec.
Are you disconnected? So like if you reconnect...
I've just disconnected and I'm reconnecting to see if it'll.
Okay, because I really
jog
think
me.
this will be good for you. Luke will hear sounds out of sync with other players to start mode from another sound. So, okay, let's do this, and then go back to that.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing. Rude.
Oh,
Oh well, I'll listen to it back on the
Cool.
the vault afterwards.
atmosphere set with ambient music. You begin to dream. You leave the tent. You can no longer hear your mother shuffling about in the tent. You hear a howl of wolves on the air. You begin to sweat. Your clothes become sticky. And you look all around you, there's nobody there. None of the tribesfolk, no Xandria, there's no Ari, there's no Ozra, Sapphire, Ruby, none of them are there. And it's not like there's still memories of them and they're just not there anymore. There's just nobody there. You turn, your mother's tent's gone. You quickly look around to see what else is going on, and within heartbeats, the entire camp as if it was never there. The sand itself starts to move and mush together, as if someone is pouring gallons and gallons and gallons of invisible water into this sand, and it slowly begins to slosh and wave and ripple towards you. You take a knee, realising that you are maybe 6 inches deep in water. The sand itself, as you scoop it out of the water, just kind of runs away from through your fingers until it is just water. And another few heartbeats pass. There is no sand. You again hear the howling of wolves. You start to remember, or struggle to remember. This is a memory that you've only ever experienced a couple of times. The most potent it was when you first laid eyes upon a young summer child that you now call sister. You feel the wolf close, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. The seaweed green of your hair flushes around, and you feel it kind of wrap, almost like a scarf and cowl, and your hair itself becomes, and you can only see your eyes. Well, you can't see your eyes, but we can only see your eyes. You bring your armour up close. It's now malleable, as you kind of move it up as if you are now wearing a cloak or a robe with a high collar. It's not armour, but as you move it, it becomes that clothing. You look about. The only thing that now still resembles what you were before you began dreaming is the dragon scales broken and cracked on your arm. Looking around yourself, you are in the same colour seaweed green robes of similar to the fashion, but similar to the expense that you saw a lot of Ravenholm nobles wearing. Wherever you are, this robe is expensive and matches the colour of your hair. You look into the water and you see the reflective silver of your own eyes and a large full moon behind you, and you hear the howling of the wolves again. You don't know when you started doing it, but you begin to run, and you hear that tsh, 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 tsh through the water. It becomes harder to run through it as at some point it got deeper, and you're now wading through it waist high. But you can hear that as something fast and large is running in the water behind you. You are petrified to look over your shoulder, and you keep going forwards. You let the expensive green robe fall from you, and you are in a coral pink, real dulled pink clothing beneath this green robe, and there are blues upon it, and silver pearls seem to be sewn into it. You tear it all from you. You're now naked, running through the water, and you turn to your right, and you're in a room. The water now back to a few inches deep. You look behind you, there's a wooden door closed, but it's a strange wood, like it's been warped, and it's damp, and the door itself is not a perfect portal. It is a shape that has been blocked by another wooden shape. But around you are bits of armour, just leather shoulder pads, a bit of a chest piece, and you start to grab them. You pull on some clothing, some trousers, a shirt, probably worn by those with not a lot of coin. You pull bits of the armour on yourself. As you go to reach the short blade in front of you near the armour, again at some point you don't actually realise you can't reach, you're too small. And then as you try to get up, you realise you're in a wicker basket, and you're looking around yourself, and you're trying to shout out for help, but strange noises are coming out like that a baby would make, and you can't get out of this wicker basket. You hear the howls of the wolf all around. It goes quiet. You can hear people outside the door, or at least sound outside the door, chains being dragged. Maybe a horse hoof or two goes past. The scene becomes super surreal. Then someone scoops up the wicker basket. You can hear the wolf more and more. As I just changed the music, I'll turn that down. Sorry chat, that got really loud really fast.
For everyone but Luke.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me when you watch it back. And Ozra, I do apologise.
It's okay.
You can now hear combat all around you. The person that is carrying the wicker basket is running through water, splish splashing everywhere. You can hear wolves snarling and snapping, biting, barking, howling to whatever they're howling to. You can hear the clash of steel. You simply hear a couple of words, but some come through. The child is over there. And you hear howling, more howling, and again, as your basket is rocking from side to side. Time passes. You're still trying to work out how you're a babe in a basket. And stretching out before, as you look over the edge of the basket, is just a night sky, a full moon, and a few wispy clouds. Deep below you is a lake that leads to a river, and the river leads on. You don't know how you know this, you just know this. Wherever you are right now, you are at the top of a waterfall, as you can now hear the roaring, and you can still hear the battle of wolves and steel behind you. Whoever has hold of this basket just launches the basket out over into nothing, and it slowly floats as if magic is cushioning, like a feather would fall, and the wicker basket rests in the lake at the bottom of the waterfall and just begins to follow till it hits a river and follows the river. You wake up in the middle of the night. You wake up in the middle of the night, absolutely drenched. Even Xandri is asleep now. The fires are embers. There's the odd night guard walking around, just keeping an eye on things. You are drenched. So much so that at some point during the dream, the nightmare, the area around you, the sand itself, is soaking and become sloppy and mushy. Not just because of your sweat. There's got to have been something more that caused this much water to affect the sand around you. Wherever you've put the amulet, that's where you reach for. For no active thinking, you just reach for that amulet. And in that split second, it's comfort, and I mean split and then gone. It's just an amulet in your hand, and you breathe. You control your breathing. You do not hear the wolf. There's no water. You are in the tribal camp of the Al Haris. Awake. Do you do anything, Gasfield?
I think he will be up and out of that tent in a heartbeat, and just in the cool air outside.
Give me a perception check.
That is 23.
Cool. You too see your mother out on the dunes in her gold and blue, in her blue and gold, sorry. And you are aware she is on one of her walks.
He will go and just sit beside her. Someone else who's not getting a proper sleep either that night.
The closer you get, let me just sort that out. It should have sorted itself. There we go. The closer you get, the more ethereal your mother becomes. It's no surprise to you when she's dream walking, there is that almost out of body experience that you get to share along if she so wishes. There is an acknowledgement of your approach, and you take the sand next to her. She doesn't communicate with you with words, but she moves her hands in front of her, and shapes start to form out of the sand. And you see a Goliath in brass plate armour in conversation with a dwarf with very short beard and real short hair. Like, it's not the long braids or anything, it's real short beard, real short hair. You can't really tell the clothing, but this Goliath is communicating with this dwarf using sign language. And then you see in the sky above them the bird-like darkling creatures that you once fought and Osra described descend upon the Goliath and the dwarf. And there is a mash, almost a mini sandstorm going on, and then it flattens out, and you see a single tree, and the immediate reminder of it, bear in mind it's made out of sand, is the blossom trees that you saw when you visited Vale with Sapphire. And bits of sand fall away from the blossom tree, mimicking the leaves falling, and then flame engulfs the tree, all in sand art, and then just becomes the dunes again, and the image of your mother vanishes.
He'll probably just kind of stay out there until kind of like the next person doing a circuit kind of passes kind of round, before kind of what kind of roughly time does it, is it like one of those ones where you're like, you've woken up and it's like 3 in the morning,
it's like
or
3 or 4 in the morning.
yeah, in which case he'll probably go and just start getting some like the morning chores done then at that point, because I think he's pretty much made his peace with well, that game's a bogey. So
as you're
I'm
helping,
not getting shit out of tonight now.
As you're helping, give me a perception check. Hearing, if it's relevant.
I don't think I have anything
That's
extra to hearing than I would to have anything else. That is 23.
As you
Yeah,
pass,
23.
As you pass your parents' tent or your family tent, you can hear your mother weeping and your father giving her words of care and reassurance.
we'll leave them in privacy.
You hear her say 3 words clearly. I felt it. And then it's mumbled as he's reassuring her. Ozra, during your sleepy time, you hear the cry of the vulture. It's night time, you're asleep, you've used the prayers. The darkness kind of opens in front of you like a theatre curtain being drawn back. And you see stone steps lead down into a glade of carrion delights. There are several dead trees. There is a huge vulture on one of the trees. And then it begins to clear. And it gets a bit brighter than what you're used to being presented by your deity. And you see, yeah, I prefer it. Go back.
Too bright.
To the sides, it still holds that image, but it's as if it's been cracked and split in front of you, and you see a different image, one of bright cherries and greens and whites, and you see these blossom trees that remind you of the stories of the Vey dynasty. It's not somewhere you've ever travelled, but you've been around enough to have met people and books, etc. You are aware that this is the Vey dynasty, or at least an image of. You see a dwarf with a very short beard, short hair, and they are walking towards what you can only imagine is a temple of sorts. It reminds you of places where those of religion would worship. And you see that the area outside it holds many, many different coloured blossoms. You see a group of people appear out of a tree. They don't seem to have any detail about them, but there is a white colouring to one of the shapes, almost like a silhouette of these people. There is a white one, a blue one, a gold one, a silver one, and one that is of green and grey, and the colours kind of mix. And they walk towards the temple at the end, and then they just become liquid and fall into the floor. And left standing there is a humanoid that you couldn't give their height, but you feel that they tower above anyone they are with. Across their entire skin, it is as if they have applied a thick white ashen paste, almost like a ward, and I mean head to toe. They are in plate armour that doesn't. Some of the warriors you've seen that would wear plate armour, this full metal everywhere, usually have things like chain and padding underneath. This plate armour just sits, no chain, no padding, on flesh, straight on flesh. This humanoid shape is, again, just has that imposing towering. You take protection from the darkness at either side of this bright scene, but this ashen, armoured, whatever. At first, you look at the helmet, and there are 2 ram horns that grow out from the helmet and curl at the side of the head, and then a single unicorn-ish is the best thing you can describe it, horn that comes out, and it has a oily, that rainbow oil colouring to this unicorn horn. And then you realise they're not wearing a helmet. It is their features of their head. It's only now that you see the eyes and the same rainbow colours look like broken glass in each pupil, and they just stare at you. You hear the vulture next to you and it shuffles, wings kind of just flap a little bit. You feel reassured by that. You don't feel like stepping forward, but you see this horned creature turn back towards the temple. And as it goes walking towards the temple, you see all sorts of, again, these silhouette shapes, all with the same cherry pink of the blossom trees that you saw before. All their silhouettes are that colour, and as this horned creature walks towards the temple, they just fall away from it in liquid. It is a mimicry of death, is the best way you can interpret it. You don't remember this horned creature having a weapon, but when it sweeps its hand towards the temple, there is a sword that just is perfectly smooth. There are no jagged edges to it. It looks crisp, clean, a blade of stories from noble knights from lands far away, and it cuts the temple in half, as if it is a child's toy. You then hear screams you've heard before. You are a grave cleric. You are very aware of the sounds that you hear, and you just hear death in that single swipe. And then from this ashen, horned, armoured warrior, you see hounds covered in that rainbow oil colouring, all racing towards the cut in half temple, and you hear the barks and the growls and the snarls and the snaps. And as you're looking around to try and see where they're going, because there's nowhere for them to go, you see one bounding straight towards you, coming towards you faster and faster. Give me a religion check.
That's a 12.
It's a 12. Cool. As this rainbow-coloured hound leaps through the scene that is the crack in the vulture's glade, it comes through the scene of colour and into the glade and snaps. You put your arm out and you take 11 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, jeez. Is this before or after taking a long rest?
You are in the middle of a long rest.
So just 11 points.
Just 11 points. You have not yet finished your long rest.
Ouch.
The vulture immediately, wings spread, flies down to you, and the wings encompass you, feathers everywhere, and you wake up on the sands, just bolt upright, a single vulture feather on the sand next to you. You look around for this coloured hound, nothing. You look around for the temple, the glade of your deity, nothing. Just a nod from the feather, just as you see the sun peaking the rise.
Boy. She'll snatch the feather up from the ground and clutch at it. She'll get up out of her bedroll and try and walk it off.
Okay. The only other person awake at this point is Kess. Everyone else is on the cusp of their long rest. Kess, you haven't had a long rest yet.
I figured.
Osra, that will be your long rest. You will wake at the end of that long rest. So you've had
Okay.
a long rest.
Oh, thank God.
The other four are still in their long rest, at least for the next few minutes. You do see Kess up. You do see Solomon and Zarin, the mother of the summer breezes. You do see Sahar. You see a few known of the geckos and the other Fair tribe members. They kind of see you a little bit distressed, and you kind of like hand out to them, just give me 5, and they give you that space. Guess you see Osra in a bit of a state, like there's no hiding it. She's experienced somewhat of a bad dream.
She'll get kind of like the sort of head tilt of a you wanting humanoid interact, like that sort of interaction. Yes, no. Approach, yes, no.
she'll hold up her finger like just 1 minute and pace a bit.
He's like, oh, if you like that sort of, oh, you don't want to interact. That's fine, fine. I'll keep. Put that in a
she
box.
just needs
put
a
the box
second.
in another box. I too enjoy that method of coping.
No, she'll pace for a minute or two just to sort of shake it off, but then look back towards him and sort of give a nod and start slowly coming in his direction.
Within moments, you're within talking range. It's a sentence I never thought to say.
You're up early.
Yay, yes.
Bad night.
I'd said about as believably as that.
Bad night as well.
There's been few times where I have been as jealous of my sister that she can get by on 4 hours. But tonight is definitely one of them. It was not had that one often, but it's always a trip.
What kept you up?
And that's just that is what you get, and he continues wiping up holes ready for breakfast. just
Right.
like
Ah, you're one of those. I feel like something bad's coming.
if it's anything to do with the vivid, then
Vibrant.
the vibrant. I don't know why. I like in my head I'm like vivid. Say vivid. Say it again. Just say it. Just make sure everybody knows that you've got the completely. There's only two options and you got it completely wrong both times. If it's anything to do with the vibrant, as someone who has fought one of them and seen what that can mean, I didn't want to see their kind here, not so close to home.
It may be further than just here. I don't know.
If it's in Ravenholm and it's made it here, and there's whispers of it maybe reaching Viconia, then it's like the little bit of mold you see on the side of a tent. You think it's okay if you clean it out, just catch that bit, and by the time you've lifted the covers aside, you find the entire thing is riddled with it. I don't know how we fight a war against something so all-encompassing.
Need more allies. Do you have other people who could fight with you?
And he'll kind of like put it down and turn around like, Ozra, this is beyond five or six unfortunate yet lucky idiots being able to sort. They're wanting to burn through all of us. There's going to be nothing left.
There's going to be nothing left if we do nothing about it.
Oh, I agree. But I don't know where we start.
We do one thing at a time. That's, with what we have, that's all we can do right now. We finish in one area, we move on. We spread the word, we gain more allies.
I envy you your optimism, and I hope you keep it.
I don't know if I'd call it optimism.
Trust me, it is. And it'll kind of go back to setting up for the first rounds of people getting ready for breakfast.
Okay.
Once you find a bit of optimism of your own, I'm going to go and fight those things today.
Oh, that nest, we're taking it out, but it's the corner of the tent. It's not going to solve the problem.
You've got to start somewhere. And she'll turn around and go back to the tent.
It's at this moment that you all have achieved your long rest, except Cass.
That must be nice.
A long rest.
All you got to do is campaign 2, not submit a backstory. That's all it was.
I mean, I barely did it this time, and look
I
what it
know,
got me.
right?
You told me you were fair, that's all I needed.
Yep.
You all wake, as Cass has already started. Music begins, but it's a softer music. It's a hello morning music. put your shoes on your left foot. No. I've never heard of that, so I can't get soaked. Yeah, so breakfast is done. You all, maybe not all, have a nice breakfast, but it is presented similar as it was the night before. It kind of just trains through the group of tribesfolk that sit and eat, drink. There are fruits. There are more fruits this morning than they were during the evening meals. There are a few people that seem to be gifted in the arcane arts or an art form that involves magic, and they are creating these fruits, and they are juicy and beautiful, and they hydrate, and you feel ready for the day. As my camera hates me. That's what we get for Christmas. So, as it is breakfast time, Sahar is out and looking far more confident in his stride than he was the day before. He's nodding at everyone, he's slapping everyone on the back, he's a bit more his usual self this morning. He spends a fair amount of time talking to Solomon, the father of the Summer Breezes. He then speaks to a few of the Elder Fae. It's more like keeping them in the loop rather than asking permission or getting any actual like command from them, as it were. But then he spends a lot of time speaking to the young'uns, the young Fae, the young geckos, taking a knee next to them, doing the whole, making them hold their swords a bit straighter or their spears a bit stronger, moving shields about on them. Whenever he turns away from the young'uns, you can see a look of the confidence goes a little bit. And he will then speak to Solomon again, and then he'll go back, and then those of a more experienced thing, he'll go around them, and he's doing the hearts and minds things, but he has got a bit of a spring about his step. The bone spear never leaves his side. Normally, unless he's leaving camp, he cares not. He doesn't like the camp is sanctuary. But the bone spear never leaves his side. That's the one thing that Caspian and Xandra, you spot immediately. It's just like someone turning up, you know, once long hair to bald. It's just so obvious that you just can't. Zerin's not seen. She doesn't come to breakfast. Having a look, you probably notice she's still in the tent, but she doesn't come out for breakfast.
When it's clear that she's
not coming out, I imagine you're going to do the same thing as me.
He'll put like a little bowl together and sort of sneak his way back off.
So you both heading to the home tent?
From opposite ends.
Literally just
stealthiest.
Both with a bowl of fruit.
Past Ruby, if I can see which direction they're headed in, I will just sort of like grab their arm and go, see if she needs tea. Because I'm thinking
The
like
worst
start rolling
drug dealer
medicine
ever.
checks. If it's Cass, it will come with the look that says, I know you need something. You did not sleep, sir, but I'm not going to start a row.
Give me a perception check. And give me a medicine check.
So that is an 18 plus whatever my plus is. So that's like a
That'll
20,
Kess didn't
22
sleep.
on perception.
Kess did not sleep.
Do you want the medicine check as well?
No, that's fine.
Alright.
It's fine. So you are aware that Kess had a rough night. Even so much so that he looks a little bit exhausted. Not a lot, just a little bit. Kess and Xandra, you get to your home tent. Are you entering, doing the whole knock on the canvas, just straight in? We live here.
yeah, straight.
You walk in, and your mother is folding her blue and gold desert garb nicely and putting it to one side. And she's in crimson red. You've never seen her wear crimson red before. The clothing fits close to her. There are like bandoliers and stuff around her. There are small potion bottles in the bandoliers. There are a few daggers on a bandolier that goes underarm, like a underarm holster type thing. And she has a falchion on her back, which is a double-handed version of your scimitar, Kess. Her sword and shield that she normally wields is placed on the blue and gold, and that's just you literally just catch her finishing that. She's already kitted up in what I've just described, and the things you see her doing is essentially piling up and putting nicely the sword, shield, and the blue and gold. And she just turns, morning, children.
Hi, Mum.
How are you?
What? You never, ever have taken off your blue and gold robe. You've never set your sword and shield down. What's going on?
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
It was at disadvantage, but then you both went in. Ganging up on your mum, you bastards.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural.
Unnatural.
Sit. You both sit.
We'll sit, but we'll also like hand across
Yeah,
the
the-
bowl of breakfast.
Yeah. As soon as you sit, she bolts. No. She takes the balls from your bowl. Did you turn up with the ball as well, Andrew? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm not letting it one up me. So she takes both the balls and she places them on the real short table behind her. And then she'll pull a cushion so she's sat in front of you. And she just adjusts and the falchion kind of just rests behind her. It looks immaculate. Even like, if Dale thing were here, he'd be telling him to have a look. And she presents several like prayer beads that are wrapped around her forearm, and they're of multiple colours. There's quite a lot of metallic colours in there. There's the like your normal like colours of the rainbow, as it were. There's a lot of representation of any colouring, earthy, metallic, rainbow in these beads. I must perform a blood dream.
A blood dream.
It is impossible for me to walk in the dreams of fear. But with a blood dream I can. I believe one of ours are aiding the Darklings. She doesn't mean one of the tribe, she means one of the fae.
Just a fair.
Yeah.
And you think you can find them by walking in their dream?
For the Darklings to become undead, they have died first. For the amount that Ozra and Sahara said, that is a lot of blood of the Darklings. I can use that as a component to allow me to walk in the one that caused the blood streams. And I believe it to be fair.
Okay. But this doesn't explain, Mother, why you have changed your garb so drastically.
There are enchantments upon my garb and weaponry, and the potions you see on my bandolier. It is everything I can possibly do to increase my chances of safety within the dream.
Is it something we can help with?
I do not know. Dream walking is not something our people learn. It just every so often one of us is gifted or cursed to be able to dream walk. You know this from our teachings. To allow others to walk in a dream beside will take some of my power, but I don't know if that power will be needed in a blood dream.
Okay. But you will let us know if you do need our aid, won't you?
Yes. Do you both wish to roll an insight check?
Yep. Oh.
Oh, yep.
Something tells me that it's not the father that Drea gets her spice from.
Unnatural 20 again.
Cool.
Insight is...
Wisdom.
Yeah, that's how I have any chance of doing anything with it.
Yep.
That is a lovely night. Another, right, 19 plus 2 is 21.
When you ask your mother if she will tell you if she needs aid, and she says yes. She's telling the truth, but she is holding back.
I look at Kess. That knowing sibling look of there's something more. You're not telling us the full story, are you?
No.
Is there a reason?
Yes.
Is it for our safety?
You are my children.
And you're our mother.
Then you should trust your mother.
Okay. Then I will let it slide. And then I look at Kessus to say, are you going to let it slide?
Roll initiative.
No. I worry for what you let me see last night.
This gets like a... I'm sorry, I'm sorry, what look? From Zandria.
I'm sorry you saw that, Guess. I did not know you were so close.
We need to know to be able to help.
Go with Ozra and Sahar to the Darklings. Give me the distraction I need.
We will create such a distraction for you, Mother. Please be safe.
And you.
Come, dear, we should go get ready for this.
Okay. And Drea will just get up. Go.
Cool. You can see now that there's an organisation going on, and those that are capable of swinging a weapon are being prepped by Sahar to defend the camp, explaining about the Darklings and the undead. You can see every now and then Sahar will refer to Ozra for explanations on the undead and how to deal with them and the sort of capabilities they'll throw back, like with necrotic energies and such like this. There are herbs and stuff getting mashed together, and arcane weave coming from some of the alchemists into this paste that they're making as they prepare to, if necessary, defend the Darklings if you lot fall. Sahar is very confident that you're going with him. He's not even remotely looking to ask. He's just explaining the plan to the tribal lot as if you're already on your way. Solomon is walking around more as a figurehead. He's just, his presence, you can see, like whenever he walks close to some of the Fae or some of the geckos, they kind of like stand up a bit more. And there is it's not a rallying cry of, let's go to war. It's just quite efficient in the way they're like, this is what we do, this is what we're going to have to do. Don't let anything bad happen. Sort of talk to the warriors. Sahar's already arranged, while you've been talking to your mother, and like Ozra and Aaron and stuff are working their way around. Ruby's doing her motherly thing and checking on folks as she sees the odd gecko's head kind of drop, and she'll be over there giving him a bit of a chin up. Provisions have been made for yourselves to head this northeasterly direction to this nest. Sahar has arranged for all of you to basically have a hamper, as it were, or a collection of items that you'll be able to take with you, like alchemical potions. He's got a couple of scrolls that the tribe have put together. Word has been sent to Malika and the Summer Realm itself with all information of everything that they've experienced and Ozra's experienced. The only word they've had back is eradicate the Darklings. You're not surprised. It's Malika. She incarnates Summer. Burn everything. As you all prepare, or at least unless you tell me otherwise, as you are preparing and Sahara's handing out the potions. You all get 2 potions. One with a reddish liquid in it, and one with a bluish liquid in it. And Sahara will explain to you what they are on your walk to the nest. As you are about to set off, you see Zerin, the mother of the summer breezes, stood. She just steps out of the tent. And for those that haven't already seen, you see her in these crimson sashes and robes and stuff where the bandoliers keep it close to her figure so she can move freely, and a large falchion on her back. She then pulls the saris and such over her head and the scarves over her head, and they come down in a veil in front of her, and you can just see her features beyond this veil. And the veil itself is also a almost see-through red. And she just nods towards Xandria and Kesfion. Solomon comes over, just stands, looks at you all, doesn't say a word. Xandria and Kesfion, you can see that. It's the same look of pride he gives whenever Sahar compliments you in your sparring and your practices and such. And he just walks back off and stands with your mother, and you see him run his hand from his forehead down to his feet, and the magical armour that you are used to your father summoning just kind of takes place, and you see that bluish arcane shielding around him that fits maybe a centimetre from his skin. And then the next thing that happens, there is a crash of sound, drums bang, sand bursts up into the sky, and as the sand falls back down, I will change the music. A sandstorm spins up all around you. It is localised to the camp. You all start looking around to see where its source is. You can hear Sahar shouting through it, "Cover your eyes! Get back! Get down!" The geckos immediately pull their little leather caps over their heads to protect their eyes from the sand. And as you're all looking around, can you all give me perception checks? Not you, Sapphire.
Not you, Sapphire.
Not you, Sapphire.
I haven't rolled a single dice tonight yet.
17.
24.
22.
22.
22.
Nat 20
22,
plus 6, 26.
26.
total.
What did you get, Ruby?
17.
That's high enough. As you're all looking around in the sandstorm, and you can see the Fae of the tribe and the geckos of the tribe kind of getting low to the sand, they all now pulling their scarves over and the leather caps of the geckos. You see Sapphire in a crucifix position about a foot off the floor, and you can see these pure white orbs being pulled, like almost with a magnet pulled from him. How many key points you got, Sapphire?
7, I believe.
You see 7 pure white orbs being pulled from his chest as if by
Not
a magnet.
anymore, you don't!
Being pulled, and they hover in front of him as if his body itself is reacting. And you see him in this crucified position, reacting and convulsing as his body is trying to pull these orbs back into his chest. Sapphire, in front of you, you are stood in the glade with the cherry blossom trees all around you. There is not a single other coloured blossom tree in this glade, just the cherry ones. The ones that you focused on all your life and have been part of your training to kill. You see Iron Rebuke, the Naginata, float off your back in front of you, and it's snap in half. Red and dark, black, purple and green, real like claret blood red energy flows from the broken Naginata Iron Rebuke into the sky. You see it part the sandstorm in front of you. You see the temple in front of you, but now you see it broken, as if a giant the size of a titan has slashed through it with a sharp weapon of death. And you see the temple itself, stonework falling off to one side. You see all around you when you were there before, everyone training and doing their patterns, even those just doing their peaceful meditations, dead on the floor, ripped apart. All around them you see these rainbow coloured oiled hounds just ripping into flesh. You see the Goliath and the dwarf that were heckling you as you left, just limp, getting chewed upon, gnawed upon as if they've been dead for many hours. 2 pale paladinic demons walk amongst the ruins of the temple, just looking around each other, their faces completely covered with full plate armour, all the thick ash paste that you can see on their flesh and on their body in between the gaps. Walking behind them, standing 10, 15, 20, who knows how many feet high, as if they themselves are a deity walking the very earth itself. also known as Colossus, you see the same image that Ozra saw. This huge ram-horned, unicorn-horned out the forehead, humanoid creature with plate armor just bolted onto flesh, the thick astral paste all around it. A beautiful, absolutely smooth-bladed greatsword that they're just swinging with one hand. You can see the greatsword as it just kind of moves through the air. It's not even laying steel to any flesh, but you can hear cries of people die at every swing of it. You look around and you can see the caved-in apple blossom, the Juneberry blossoms, all the other blossoms of the Vey Dynasty that you've ever walked under, that you've ever felt the leaves fall upon your face. The only blossom that still stands is the cherry blossom, and it's behind you. You turn around and it reminds you of the tree that you walked through to get back to Toodles. Stood in front of you, you have the Hounds of the Vibrant, and you have the Paladins of the Pale. They all turn and they all see you, and you're still floating off the ground in this crucified position. You can see your key itself pulled from you. You feel weaker than you've ever felt in your entire life, even when you were back on the tundras and your father was constantly on at you, until you eventually ran. Leaping from the ruins of the temple, you see a lioness with a great axe high above the ram-horned and unicorn-horned paladin of the Pale. And as she comes slamming down on it, you hear it hit. The unicorn explodes, and out pours the same sort of soul imagery and colorations that you saw when you saw your sister within the realm of souls, pulling that train of souls, that dress like instance behind her, and they all sort of pour from her. There's an explosion of light. You don't see Soul Taker anymore. The horn has been remade and it sucks back in the souls. The temple closes back up and fixes itself. All the people that are dead come up and stand upright. The hounds all go back in reverse, running away from the scene. The sandstorm all around you. Your feet hit the deck. Your key comes back into you, and you lock eyes with Kelthias, the wielder of Ravensbane, and you're back with your party. And we're going to leave it there.
Fuck.
Well, shit.
Boy.
So, it's
Can't
11 o'clock,
wait for
kids. It's 11 o'clock, or just after. Thank you so
Session
much.
61.
Session 61 next week, folks. So a couple of thank yous. Thank you for the raid. Modern Mercenary, thank you very much for bringing in your 6. I hope you had a great session before, great stream before. Cool to see you again. Thank you for the follows and such, and the bits, and the chatting, and the first time chatting. I hope you've enjoyed it. Go check out YouTube and all that good stuff. Thank you very much to Sasha, aka Ozra, aka Sasha, for joining us. Unfortunately, I'm going to make a play next week as well. If you want to do a little shout out again, I'm going to put the link again for Sasha. Listen to Sasha, folks. Listen. Say something about the thing.
I need to do a bit.
You need to do a bit. I'm putting more stuff in the chat. Go find this out.
Night Shift podcast has premiered today. It is a urban fantasy docudrama podcast. We're very excited about it. It's queer-led, POC-led. It's going to be a great time. Check it out on Twitter at Night Shift Cast or on any podcasting website of your choice.
Beautiful.
And thank you so much for having me, guys.
It's been a pleasure again. Thank you for giving us some of your time. So yeah, take care of yourselves, folks, in the chat. Go check it out on YouTube, or you can just watch it again on Twitch. And we'll be back next Tuesday at about 8 o'clock. What day are we on? If you like Cyberpunk, we've got that on Thursday, so tune into that. But other than that, for now, players, you got to say goodbye, players.
Bye,
Players.
See you later, folks.
Can we rate best, please?